meeting with people talking.
Hello.
Do they know that we can't hear them? Let me call Jeremy.
No, Jeremy, I think muted everyone.
Yeah, they're muted. They're muted. He's muted. He's
Yeah,
muted.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Jeremy.
now.
Yeah.
Is this on? Is this...
Did you mute everybody?
Okay. We're just, I was doing, making sure we have a quorum. Just bear with me. I did want to make sure the recording company's good. Okay. So, all right. So you want to bang the gavel? You want to run it?
Of course I do. Meeting is beginning. Okay, we are gonna have the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody could stand, please. And where are we? Right there. Orville?
Yeah, I got it. Set up down, my voice loud enough. Hear me? Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes. Okay.
Those suffering around the world.
Repeat it? Okay. Took my thing away. Okay, we want to have a moment of silence, please, for all the fallen responders, medical and military service personnel who really fight for our country, God, and for those suffering throughout the world. Okay, thank you.
A super well-meaning troop leader is taking on America's most. The Thanksgiving play on Broadway, as delicious roasting and everything right. Now playing tickets at 2.
Welcome, everybody. Okay, we're going to start with the gallery session. Our first person up is Grace Lavaggio. Excuse me?
Yes.
Yes, is she present? Is she present online?
Did they call attendance?
Yes, she might be online. Should register.
Debbie,
No
Debbie,
attendance
did
has
they
been
call?
called.
Okay, all right.
What was that? Okay, she is, if she comes here in person, et cetera, she'll follow at the back of the line. The next,
I think April or somebody was asking about attendance. Who I didn't catch.
sure.
All right, so I'm gonna go through who I don't know is if they're here. So I don't know if Rabbi showed up or Ken Gelnick is running late, he told me. Oh, which one? Rabbi's up front. Should I wait till he walks in? Yeah, so that's Averill.
Yes.
Yeah, I have you, Averill. So I'm just gonna call your name. I got you. If I don't call your name, I have you. So please don't. So just to get it through it quickly. So Rabbi's outside. I'll get him when he comes in. Ken's running late. Mulaney, Keith Ramsey, Juanita Randall.
I'm here, Jeremy. Keith.
Oh, Keith?
Yeah.
All right, great.
Okay.
Lisa Soto. And Janice Walcott. So those are the only people. Okay, yeah, if you see them, all right. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. Okay. The next person up in our gallery session is Nicholas Caravallano. Sorry if I said your name incorrectly.
No, you pronounced it correctly. Thank you.
So he's online? Okay.
Okay, Nicholas, you'll have about 2 minutes. I'll give you a 30-second warning. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, you can proceed.
Okay. In February 23, I attended an NYPD Sector A build-a-block, and I asked about installing an NYPD camera in the dead end of Van Ness and Matthews Avenue. I was told these were costly and they would be aligned with crime statistics. This was prompted to me to think about this after I returned in the early morning to my family's home to help care for my grandmother, and was approached by someone in the dead end with coming out of a tinted window car with out-of-state plates and asked me if I had called the police or had any information. Their vehicle was idling. There was an odor of cannabis coming from the vehicle, and there were also broken beer bottles in the dead end. I told them I had no information about it and continued on my way. This week, also, a DSNY supervisor wrote our family a ticket stating they observed napkins at 8:30 during routing hours. The supervisor is not visible on any surveillance camera until 9:49 a.m., only to appear during alternate side sweeping hours. In February 23, the DSNY police also approached me and stated that they were aware of dumping in the area and were thinking about installing a camera to catch littering going on. So while we haven't, or I haven't contacted the authorities for idling or people smoking or drinking in their cars, I have heard this happen in addition to people having sex or dumping items into the dead end. And the feedback from the NYPD stated that they were aware this was a wide street. There's no sidewalk on one side, and they were aware of the activity.
30 seconds.
I'm also contacting the board to ask for assistance to see if it would be possible to help in repairing a curb abutting our property. We were told after repairing the sidewalk that we could reach out to local community board to assist.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next person up is Julia Kamagong, New York State Nurses Association. Is she present?
So I'm here for Julia Kamagong. I'm actually I work for New York State Nurses Association as a political and community organizer. I'm having two of our nurses present. So there's Sean Petty, RN, he's on, and Lezan Coleman, she's on. So I'm going to ask them at this point to both speak about the issue at hand.
Okay, are they getting 2 minutes each or no?
No.
I would.
One person.
Are you sure for the nurses? No.
No. It's just so
One person.
limited to one person will be limited to 2 minutes only. Yeah. You both can speak. No, you both can speak. However, you will be limited to.
Unless the board wants to vote on it.
Just to have the nurses speak, why not for the
Either
other?
or. Unless means either or, right? Do we still want to vote on it? 2 minutes? All right.
If they need more time to be.
What?
So that means 2 minutes each. That's 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to vote on it then?
Well, we have,
It's
all right,
not-
let's vote on it.
Or just if nobody objects. If nobody from the board objects.
Does anybody on the board object to each one of the, I think there are two?
Two
that
nurses,
would
yeah.
be 2 minutes each?
Nope.
Is there any
Not a
opposition?
problem.
Let him speak. Let him speak.
Let him speak. Let's go.
Okay, so
That's
Lezan
okay, there's no
Coleman.
need to yell.
Okay, so we're
Just
gonna
was
have
asking if there was any opposition.
Okay, thank you. So Lezan Coleman, can you?
Okay,
unmute
please
and-
clearly state your name, each person that's going to be speaking.
Lezan Coleman, Lazon,
30 seconds each time.
Coleman.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, Lezan, you can start.
I can start?
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Hi,
please.
good
Yes.
evening, everyone. I'm Lezan Coleman from Jacoby Medical Center. I'm a nurse of 3 years. I work in the ICU burn unit, and I'm here to present to you the struggles and that we're going through now while we fight for our new contract. It is important that we get support for this new contract. We are going through a lot of discrepancies to get the contract. So right now, we're trying to get parity to other hospitals to keep our public sectors open. We're also trying to help keep and retain nurses to stay within the public sector, and all these challenges is affecting the public sector. And we want to keep the public sector strong. We want to keep it in the community. We want to keep helping the community. We want to keep supporting the community, and we need your support. We need you to sign the pledge for us so that we can go and continue to serve the community that we work in. Sorry about the background noise, if you can hear that. So that's pretty much what I'm presenting today. When I walked into Jacoby 3 years ago and I saw the nurses struggling with COVID, and I saw how tired they look and how much they work with the community, it was important for me to stay with the community that I serve. It was important for me to continue to fight. But right now, we need your help. We need to support ratios. We need to make sure that the ratios are fair, because when we keep our ratios good with patient care, then we don't tire the nurses out, we don't burn them out, and then people are more able to stay and retain. So there's a pledge. I was told in the link, if you guys can sign it to support the nurses. We need all your help. If you have any questions for us to understand it better, I'm here to answer any of your questions. But we're fighting for pay parity with the private sector. It's important
30
that we
minutes,
get
30
the same
seconds.
pay so that we can retain our nurses. And we're also fighting to stay in the community and to keep the public hospitals open and there and available for the community to come and get the care that they need.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Lizanne. We're gonna
Yep.
now have
Thanks,
Sean
nurse.
Petty. Sean Petty.
Hi, thanks everybody, and thanks for the vote for the extended time, because it is a very kind of critical issue and a critical time. I've been working at Jacoby for the last 15 years. I work in the pediatric trauma department. The Jacoby is the only pediatric trauma center in the entirety of the Bronx and southern Westchester County. And Jacoby is obviously also serves as the level 1 trauma center for not only this neighborhood, but the entirety of the northern Bronx. And, I recognize some of the faces here. I did, last time I believe I came to you guys for support in saving that pediatric trauma center, and we were successful at that, thankfully. The issue that we're bringing to you today is that we are facing the most profound retention crisis that our hospital and all of the public hospitals have ever experienced. Some of that was a combination of COVID, where nurses went through a profound degree of difficulty and found it difficult to maintain being in a hospital setting. But what makes matters worse is that our compensation, or the pay disparity between the
30 seconds.
sector is over $20,000, and we have a very difficult time retaining our nurses. And so we are fighting for equality of compensation so that we can actually keep nurses at Jacoby who are experienced and who can provide the safe care for trauma, for mental health, for labor and delivery, all critical services that the community relies on. So we do hope that you will support us in that. We do have a rally on the 10th of May in Union Square at 11:30, which I also hope some of you may be able to attend with us.
Thank you. 10th. Oh, she said under rally on the 10th.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is Grace Lavaggio. Okay, because we called you first and you came in, so you went to the back line now. That's okay. You're here.
Okay. Minutes. And yeah, sorry, and 30 seconds warning. You can. There you go. Good pause. I'm going to pause it.
I don't need a mic, but okay. Hi, good evening. Thank you for letting me speak. As you know, I have the Alex Association. We're having our 10th year block party on June 24th. And I wanted to, I know it was discussed about the petition, not the petition, the signature petitioning, and which I had informed you at the transportation meeting, that was done 10 years ago. This block party, I had originally put in the street activity permit, and then Manny from the Allerton Library and I have been working for 10 years. We've been partnering this whole time. So he was able to get a grant, and he said, let me do it. I want to do it, you know, help you ease your burden, because I got a lot of other things going on. And I said, okay, well, sure. So I changed the date for my permit for next year, and he put in the permit under the library. Now, it's the same event. It's just going to be under the library's name, because with the grant money, he couldn't give the money to ABBA to use. They have to do it. You know how that works with the grants. So just hope that it's not going to be an issue, because we did the petitioning, like I said, 10 years ago, and there's really no need to redo it. If anybody had a complaint, whether people moved in and moved out, when it comes time for the block party, everybody comes and enjoys it. And I haven't had any complaints, and I don't believe anybody here has had a complaint in the community board. So that's all I'm saying, is just, I hope that's not going to be an issue with the petitioning part, because we did that. Thank you. Shut it off.
Yeah, you could leave it there. It'll be a choice for the next person. Okay, so, does she,
You register online, I just.
oh,
So being you asked to get the signatures for the petition for it under the library, did you get the signatures? You had 2 months to get the signatures. Did you get it? By my recollection, you had 2 months to get signatures. Right, but you tried to put it to the Transportation Committee the prior month, but you guys put it on the docket too late because of technical difficulties Manny was having putting the permit in. But basically, you had 2 months to get signatures. Did you get any signatures?
No, because we didn't think it was going to be an issue, because we did the signatures 10 years ago.
Right, but you were informed
No.
that because it's under the library, it's a new permit. With a new permit, you need new signatures.
No, that was discussed. There was no quorum, so there was no decision made. We were not told that until March, because February, the meeting was canceled. Otherwise, we would have been there February. There was no meeting. So we had the meeting in March. You guys had the meeting in March. And that's when this became an issue, where it really shouldn't be an issue, because it's the same event. Just because it's under a different permit number, it's the same event. That's what, I don't understand why that's
I
a
know,
problem.
under the bylaws, it says that if it's a new event, a new permit, which it would be a new permit under the library, it needs 55% signatures.
excuse me, I'm just going to interrupt right now, because this is going to be discussed in my chair report. And there was not, this was supposed to be voted on at the leadership committee, and it wasn't. So I'm just saying it is open-ended right now.
So.
The next person up is Friends of Pelham Parkway, Roxanne Delgado. She's online.
Yes, hi, Chair. I'd like 30-second warning, please. I'm sorry I couldn't attend in person. I had other obligation, but I'd like to state that there's an urgent issue for the CB11 to consider. This is regarding 2560 rezoning. I attended the city council hearing and there's supposed to be expected vote soon. It might be even happen on May 4th. I spoke to the councilwoman's office and she stated per the letter that CB11 sent, they're under the guidance that you want less affordability, but per my understanding, per all the public hearings, many people and board members expressed the lack of affordability in those in that building, the proposed project. There's going to be 40% at 90 AMI. That means a minimum of 85,000 income requirement for one person, and this gets higher as more persons are involved. This is unaffordable. 40% of the units will be at 90% of AMI. So I'm hoping you could clarify that letter to the councilwoman's office to state that the board's not seeking less affordability, but actually more affordability, especially not at 90% AMI. And that's it. I hope that could be done before May 4th deadline because they're going to take a vote soon. And per the calendar of city council, it might be scheduled May 4th, might be the vote. Is that possible?
It's not a problem. Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's just that the letter was not clear to them. So if it could be clarified, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, next person up is Charlene Jackson from Mendez. Yes.
All right, 2 minutes, 30 seconds warning.
Or, oh, can you restart? Okay. Yeah, the green light is on. Okay, so I just want to say that I come today in the spirit of love and gratitude. I am a descendant of slaves. My family's been in this country 300 years before it was even legally the United States of America. And so I really respect everything that my ancestors contributed for me to be a free person and to have opportunity. So I just wanted to say that. The leadership meeting, which was held, I think maybe Monday night, last week, I was, I reviewed the tape. I wasn't there. I was very, very disappointed in the way that meeting went. Mr. Al D'Angelo wrote a column under the Morris Park Community Association, and it really made many people upset, which is their right to be upset. But this is still the United States of America, and people have freedom of speech. So if anyone doesn't agree with what he wrote, maybe they should write a column themselves rebutting it. But during the meeting, there were many things said that were not accurate. There is a problem in my community, the Black American community. It doesn't make you a racist to point that out. I'm very concerned. There's a high rate of crime. 67% of the homicide victims in 2021 in New York City were Black people, even though we're about 21% of the population. Those arrested for those murders, 63.1% were Black American. We do have a crisis with education. 2021, U.S. Department of Education stated that 85% of Black students lack proficiency in math, 83% in reading. So in order to solve a problem, my life's work is helping my community, and I've been very successful at it, trying to figure out ways to do that on a group level. But in order to solve a problem, you have to correctly identify the problem. That's the first step. And I think in this community, we should find ways of being able to communicate. If you're a leader, please come with facts. There were many comments said like that's old information. 70% of Black children are born out of wedlock. That does have an impact on their lives. Okay, am I 30 seconds done? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlene. Robert Press is the next person up.
In here. This is fine. Everybody can hear me, correct? Fine. Okay, are we ready, Earl? Okay. Since I was at both events that was heard at the 11 Ethics Committee, I want to congratulate the committee on its fine job where that meeting could have gone a different way. However, I would like to say why I did not go through the Community Board 11 Ethics Committee with my complaint and went to the Bronx Borough President against the chair of Community Board 11 for removing me from the Housing Committee 3 days after she appointed me. I was removed for political reasons, for not taking down a Bronx Times article from my private Facebook page about a candidate from a different party against the CB11 chair. Since the board chair placed and removed me, it would not be proper for the chair and co-chair of the Ethics Committee to hear my complaint against the board chair who appointed them and can remove them. One of the other members of the Ethics Committee is the treasurer of the chair's city council campaign, and the remaining member of the committee contributed to the chair's political campaign for city council. That plus the fact that CB11 members have collected petition signatures or have contributed to the chair's city council campaign left me no choice but to go to the Bronx Borough President with my complaint against the chair of CB11 for her abusing her power as the chair of CB11, as the Bronx Borough President thought she would, and asked her not to be chair of the board and run for city council at the same time. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person.
Yes, the question is to the chair. I don't know if the committee, the housing committee chair is online or not. Hazel? Is she online? She is. Well, both Malcolm and I are on the committee, and we never got any notification about Mr. Bob Press being appointed. You know, he was online one day, and that was just something that was said out loud, and we were shocked. And then the next thing we knew that he was removed. So I'm a little confused as to what happened there. Like, can somebody break it down for us?
So who would like to take this? Hazel, do you have any comment? Were you able to hear that? Basically, there are questions about this issue that Mr. Press just raised regarding being on the housing committee as a public member. No?
Okay.
I mean, I can talk.
Okay, did you want to ask, add on to the question? No, if you have a statement from oh, okay, okay. Okay, the situation surrounding this, the question is that the Bob Press was asked to be a community member, not a community board member, a committee member to assist and work with the Chair Hazel on the Housing Committee because of his experience with
hi,
housing.
I'm so sorry. I was getting.
Okay. Okay, you're breaking up, Hazel.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes. We can hear you now.
Okay, great. Sorry, I'm on my work phone. So, yeah, we had agreed that Mr. Press would become a community member of the Housing Committee. I had no objections to that because he has been very helpful to me in the past in getting me information and contacts. I know that some people were not happy about it, but he is, I believed, to be an asset to the housing committee. And him and I had a discussion, and there were terms to that agreement, which obviously the chair felt that he did not abide by. So that's why he was taken off. That's what happened.
It was a joint agreement between myself and a verbal discussion between myself and the chair of housing, Hazel.
Yes, yeah, that is true. I was very disappointed because I feel that Bob is an asset to my committee, and if we can have another discussion and another agreement, I would consider that.
Cynthia, you had a question?
I think the issue is twofold. Number one, I think the issue is twofold. Number one is, I think what Christine is getting at is that if a committee is supposed to work together for whatever end, and whether he was an official community board member or a community committee member, I think the problem is that there was no communication with the committee as a whole to let them know this is a resource for you. Regardless of whether it lasted a day or a year, there was no conversation for the people who were supposed to be working with Bob in this committee to know that he had been accepted, appointed to this committee, regardless of what specific title he had. Am I making sense?
You're making sense, but this was something that I have brought up, and I know that some people in my committee weren't happy with it. And he had been appointed while Yahe was chair, and he had come to some meetings, and it was stated that he was a community member, and nobody had objected to that. And there was a lot of confusion and a lot of stuff going on with the changing and the power and all that. But as far as I know, and I have a really bad memory. I know that when I went to 1PP to talk about our new commanding officer, it was brought to my attention that Robert had requested to be put on as a community member, and I had said yes. And that was sometime last year or the year before, I don't remember. So it had been discussed with my committee, and nobody had brought up an issue about it until recently. So that's why I'm so very confused, because it had been brought up several times, and he had been introduced as a community member of the housing committee, and no one had any objections then.
Can I respond to what the of the Housing Committee? I am known as the consultant to the Housing Committee, as I was put on, like the chair said. It is also in the September minutes that I'm still that consultant. In January, the district manager said I was no longer on the committee. And if you check with the borough president's office, Ms. Gannon, who is now in charge over there, she will tell you that the committee chair and the board chair appoint people to committees from the community. It's in your bylaws, it's in the city charter. Okay, and that is the process that Ms. Gannon will tell you, that the board chair and the committee chair approve new committee members, not the board, not the committee itself, unfortunately.
Okay,
Serena was first.
okay.
We're only supposed to have what, 4 questions from the board members? 4 questions.
Well, hold on, let me, well.
For what?
So if you don't mind, I think the question for us. So I was, if you don't mind, Serena, I was involved with the process with Al and Yahe, just for the record. Nothing was altered. So Al was going to do it. There are objections. Then Al's like, no, he's a consultant. That's why it's in the minutes. Because Al repeatedly told me, Jeremy, no, he's a consultant. He's a consultant. He's a consultant. So, and then Yahe punted the issue to Hazel, but he never made a decision. Just for the record, that's my understanding of it. So, Serena?
This is working. But he had, Jeremy, he had put it on me. He didn't want to make a decision because he didn't want to make a decision. So he said whatever I wanted to do was fine. So I appointed him. End of story. That was it.
So I understand that there was an agreement that was had when Mr. Press joined as a community member to we be led to him being kicked off of this committee, what that agreement was? Because we don't even know what that is.
Hazel, the question, did you hear the question? Hazel, okay. There was an agreement. There was a verbal agreement. There was no written agreement. This was a verbal agreement, and it's two separate conversations. One with me and one with the chair of housing, with Hazel. And we were both in agreement that the fact that on the page, the new page that Bob had put up, which was the new Friends of Community Board 11, he was allowing people, any members, to come in and speak against Community Board 11, not just one time, not just two times, but continual. I took all the screen grabs. And then also for him to welcome other members and to approve. So the question is, why would you want to have a situation where this is a consultant, this is somebody who's working with the community board on an advisory, as an advisory, yet on the other hand, it was a lot of negativity, and it wasn't just simple negativity, it was quite a bit. So the question is, it was also with the ethics committee. I mean, it was quite a bit, and I was surprised, and I had a conversation with Hazel, and it wasn't a decision that I made or demanded or anything. It was a joint agreement, and honestly, it was something that the chair of housing was in agreement with also.
Right now, Hazel said right now. I can't hear what you're saying. Well, maybe we should turn on the mic. That's not what we heard Hazel say right now. Hazel said that she feels like it's kind of being punted back to her, that's not, and that she would welcome Mr. Press back. But back to my question that you sort of, I guess, answered is when we say there were terms that not just Mr. Press, but anybody, there are terms that you have to abide by, and these terms are, and it's verbal. What are these terms? Like, if we had them, to follow, then I'm a little confused because I was still speaking. I know exactly who is. So, what I'm trying to get at is, if we don't have structure, if we don't have something to follow, then not just with Mr. Press, but with anyone that's a community member of a committee, how do we follow a guideline so we can have someone join us today and then tomorrow just say, okay, we no longer want you because we had this verbal agreement and nothing to fall back on?
Is this mic working?
There, Okay, it's in the hands of the borough president right now. There were emails that the chair sent me requesting certain material be removed. I removed some of it, but I would not remove the political piece again, from a candidate running on the Republican line. And it's at the borough president's office. All the emails and everything is sent to the borough president. Okay, so the borough president will decide on it because I said why the ethics committee couldn't. And the part about the ethics committee was removed within a few days. All right, and one or two other comments. But I am a member of the media, and there is what's known as freedom of the press. Also, only board members are tied to certain boundaries. Community committee members aren't. They're free to do certain things. They're not bound by the board, what the board is.
Excuse me. We have a.
Okay.
Conduct.
Bob, move for a second. Move for a second, Bob, move for a second, please. Sir, you can't do that.
What says that I can't do it?
I'm saying you can't do that. And people in here disrespectful to everybody else. Jeremy.
So,
Please.
I don't know if the cops are still out front.
It's not freedom of speech, sir. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Yes, it is. It is what. Code of conduct.
And you've got to take the same course of action with your own members.
We did. He was booted from the meeting. He was booted from the meeting. He was booted from the meeting.
He should be eliminated from the.
Can you please leave?
Because that is not representative.
Can you please leave? Please leave.
The code of conduct?
So, yes, please.
Let me just tell you.
No, you can't. You do not have the.
the.
You do not have the floor. You do not have the floor. This is a breach
You don't,
of the code of conduct.
you don't have the floor.
Okay, you have breached a code of conduct. If you do not leave voluntarily, you would, if I am asking you to leave. No, you don't have a right to ask.
And I'm going to stay, and I'm going to flip.
No,
Many times in life.
you have breached a code of conduct. I am asking you to leave.
Your ethical standings are inappropriate.
I'm not asking for your opinion of our ethical standards, sir.
And I think.
If you are going to continue in this frame of talking and talking under each other, I am asking you to leave as chair of Community Board 11. So, no, I'm asking you nicely to leave.
Responding to your question.
I'm not asking you the question. The question was brought to,
Don't talk to me. You don't want me to respond.
I am saying that this meeting is going to be adjourned. We can basically,
No, we can't. No, we can't. No, hold on. We can't adjourn the meeting because we'll allow anybody to do this. Am I wrong? How do you feel?
I would like him to leave, okay? Just please leave. You're
Let
disrupting,
one man
you're
end the
disrupting
whole
community
entire
work.
meeting. What kind of thing is this?
Disrupting community
You
work.
have him
Please
leave.
just leave. You have your opinion, leave.
we have a choice.
Yeah, he needs to leave.
If we take a vote,
He needs to
Have the
leave
meeting
and we need to
continue and
continue
let
with our
the
community
interrupter
work.
leave. This is nonsense. This is getting out of hand now.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
I'm going
Wait,
to come.
Call the
he needs to-
police. Call the police. That's it. It's over.
Time is consuming here too. We need to move on.
We are going to take a recess for 15 minutes.
I'm staying right here. Stay. No, Stacy, you stay here. You can hear your baby in the bathroom.
Second.
Don't move.
Second.
Don't move. Okay, if you can go.
No.
Stay here. Text me. I'll be right back. Do you want it? You should look at me.
Are we in recess?
I think we need to.
We need to take a step back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe 5 minutes.
15 minutes is a long time.
Same.
Don't move in case you know, you stay here, you're safe over. It's that. I don't know what's.
What's that?
What?
Yeah. Well, come on. Good learn.
I don't, like I said, I don't know. I didn't even know. I know, and I'm.
Hi. Oh my God. Yes. Well, the budget director. Yes, yes. His desk is all the way behind everybody else's. Okay. So I didn't get the in-person talking about it, but I CC'd him in the email. Okay. And I'm also not going to see him tomorrow because Friday's our remote day. However, I will. What day? Remote day.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the whatchamacallit, site safety monitor for the COVID precaution thing. Okay. So as part of COVID precautions, right when we got onboarded, it was a thing that we would have at least one a month.
Don't worry, I'm gonna let them know that I reached out to, Councilmember Felice,
Yeah.
that I heard back from you. And that
We're
we're
not going
gonna
that far.
be
I
in.
mean, that's a personal page. I mean, it's a other pages where they allow this too. So, you know,
Okay.
they should.
Maybe like early afternoon.
Okay, okay, thank you, Kathleen. I wasn't leaving, I'm coming back.
And I like transparency, and we should have been, you know, involved in a conversation about it. That's a. Yeah. Like this a long time, right? It's always like this though. You know, that Tiz posted something last night about like guys and coming to our house and. Huh? Okay. We definitely. Yeah. Oh, no, I know how it goes, but we'll talk for sure.
Tonight's lunch, the public agreement for
There wasn't you know, you know, to that involved, and at least know me that somebody can.
We are posting these for you.
I don't know. I don't know. I.
What's that? No, no.
But, Yep. And, you know, I would tell them to cut down, you know, because I'm fucking dying, and then
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no, I know. Oh, yeah. I mean, good luck.
Jeremy, are you gonna be canceling the meeting? Are you calling the police? Can you just let us know what's happening, please?
Sorry, people on the screen were waiting. Okay, there was some didn't know. Some were asking. It's in the chat. Read the chat. It's in the chat. That's what's going on, please.
Just a for cigarette. Yeah, no, I monitoring the chat. I told them that we're.
They can, yeah.
I don't see anything in the chat regarding any update, but it's fine. This is Alina from the mayor's office. I'm just trying to find out, are you guys going to be ending the meeting or are you going to be moving forward?
This is so embarrassing.
So, hello? Hello, everyone? Hello? Can I get everybody's attention?
Yes, we
Hello?
can hear you, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Everybody's attention, please. So there are people online that don't know what's going on. We had a member of the public disrupt our meeting. We asked them to leave. They refused to leave. So we have spoken to everyone, please, it's too much chatter, please. I'm trying to inform the multitude of people online. I understand that nobody agrees with online, but please, it's continuing, please. Hello, please. Everybody be quiet, please. Okay? It is really hard for people to hear online. All right? I understand not everybody can be here. So the gentleman was asked to leave. The NYPD has been called, and we're just waiting for this person to be escorted out of our meeting. Is that clear enough for everybody online? Permanently? Because when the patrol cars were out there, he was gone and probably waited for them to leave, and then he came back and did what he did. All right?
Help me. I know someone's risk.
So I'm gonna go talk to Maestro, all right?
We still have a few minutes.
Okay, so I just spoke to the captain of the precinct. The cops are still on the way, even though the gentleman seems to have left. Some people have expressed concerns for real safety here. Whether you believe that or not, we do sometimes have issues with people. You never know.
Listen, I don't blame people for safety concerns. After this guy, I don't blame.
Microphone?
I don't, because I'm gonna have safety concerns about myself too. That's gonna be an issue.
All right, so
Before we resume, Hazel, are you online? Okay, because Hazel had requested to say something.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. It was just the way that I had logged in that was giving me an issue. So I want to state just for the record, the issue or the situation with Mr. Press was a committee issue, and it was between myself as the chair of the committee, of the housing committee, and the board chair. It was not a board issue. That's why it did not have to come before the board. And it was just something that was between me as the chair of the housing committee and the board chair. Just like it was between me and Al and me and Yahe. So for those of you who were questioning why weren't you told about this or anything, you didn't have to be told. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, but this was an issue between me and the chair of the board.
Thank you.
There's nothing I have a problem with their housing board's problem.
We have one of, this is the last question. I think we, okay, and please just speak loud enough so she.
Yep. So to address Hazel's point, am I to understand that I, as a person on a particular committee, have no say in who I'm working with in said committee? So for example, when a decision Okay, when a decision such as that is made, I think if I am on that particular committee, I should know. It's a question of, we're supposed to be working as a team, and if we are a team, it's a matter of respecting your team members and your teammates.
Am I to realize, go ahead, Hazel, you can answer that.
Yeah, the committee, okay, before Bernadette became our chair, while Al was still the chair, the committee knew because Mr. Press was attending our meetings and I was introducing him as a committee member. So they knew about it. If they misunderstood what was going on, then they should have spoken up or asked me, but it wasn't a secret. We weren't trying to keep it a secret. And this was a decision that I made, and I made it very clear that he was an asset to our committee. And he has been, and I hope he still will be. So it wasn't something that I was trying to keep to myself. There was a lot of confusion going on when all the chairs were moving around, and Yahe, left the decision to me, and I made the decision.
So can we move on, Malcolm? I mean, it's,
to the committee, sent an email to the committee chair asking us, can we discuss, Press being a community member on the board? There was no response. I went to the leadership meeting and I brought it up. I was told, well, it's her decision. I asked, well, I understand that. Can we have more transparency so we can understand who we're working with? I was told, no. I learned that he was on that committee the day of that. And then 3 days later, he was removed from the committee. So that's a lie. I'm sorry.
Hazel, I'm just going to respond. Malcolm, it was not a lie. It was not a lie. This was a pre-existing situation that was already set in motion. It was pre-existing. That's the clarification that she's giving. It was something that was discussed maybe before you got on the committee, or it was discussed when and it was already existing. That's the clarification, which I don't think is being noted here. It wasn't just thrown on. If it was not discussed within your housing committee, et cetera, then she has made the statement. It's going to be repeated and repeated and repeated. It was decided. It was a pre-existing with the housing. It is not the norm. And it hasn't been the norm. And to be quite honestly, this is maybe the first time in my 15 years that there is a committee member, and it's something that is a possibility within our bylaws. So if it was pre-existing and for some reason it didn't come across the other committee members to discuss the situation, I don't, and maybe this needs to be discussed within your committee. Okay, but right now we are in the full board. We asked, the 4 questions were asked from the board members, which is really what has been set, that, it can't be going on and on in discussion. So if there is further discussion, can I ask that it be brought within your committee and discuss it within your committee and with your chair and co-chair? So,
Mike, please.
Mike, suggestion in terms of how we move forward, if I may. Go.
Thank you. Okay. I just think that's the same way when I have been, appointed to a particular committee, an email goes out. Cynthia Rodriguez is now part of this committee. I think that in the future, when such decisions like that are made, as a matter of courtesy, so that we know who we are working with in a committee, a simple email go out. I don't think that that is too much to ask. If I'm working with someone, who I'm working with.
Okay, all right. No more questions on this. You will discuss it in committee. Okay? It is a good suggestion. Now, I was just appointed in January, so this was already pre-existing. So at this point, it was something that was already known to the committee from the chair. You became a new committee member? What? Okay, so at this point, if it wasn't sent out, then it wasn't sent out. And in the future, we will make it a point. We are moving on.
Thank you.
This is the next. Move on. I said no more questions. We're moving on to committee. Okay, the next person for the gallery is Anais Reyes. Am I saying that correctly? Okay.
Hello? Okay. Hi, I'm Anais Reyes from the Pelham Parkway Van Ness Library. Really quick, to kick off Bronx Week on May 9th at 4 o'clock at Van Ness, we're going to have an author talk with Vincent Tirado, Bronx native, as well as Saturday the 13th at 2 p.m. with another Bronx native, Aisha Reddix. Also, Allerton Branch, their studio kicked off, their music studio, so please make sure you take a tour. And for the Morris Park branch, please take a tour of their plastic art that is displayed across the branch. So, I left flyers outside.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else? Okay. Okay, next up for the gallery session is Jean DeFrancis from Allerton International Merchants.
2-minute, 30-second warning. Can you just briefly, before you start, Jean, state, since you didn't fill out the slip, the issue you're speaking about? Going forward, right, we require this. So, Chris, if it's okay, unless the board is opposed, I don't want slips that aren't filled out. Okay?
Yes, please.
I think we're short on time.
Next part. Ephraim, do you have, and which we had requested, the actual issue of what you're going to talk about, the category? It should be.
You want to come up? You want to state the issue first, please?
Just state the issue, please. It's a requirement.
It's such an eventful evening, so I'm going to be just very focused on, I want the community to pay attention and be mindful for the libraries because it is a valid issue. And I don't want us to, through all this chaos, and we have to get through this, we have to fight for the libraries. So if we have to reach out and speak to the elected officials up in Albany, let's get that funding for the kids. And on a closing point, I want to mention about a veteran because we talk about history of Black Americans. Isaac Woodard Jr. served in World War II. I was in the Army in the Persian Gulf War. And on his way from Augusta, Georgia, he told the bus driver he needed to use the bathroom. And then the bus driver called the police. And right before he got into South Carolina, where he was going to go, they beat him. They beat him so bad that he lost both eyes. He came to Harlem, New York, and Duke Ellington, and they threw a concert where City College is. There was a stadium there. And Harry Truman tried to get him to get support, and he didn't get his VA benefits till 1962. He decided to stay in the Bronx. after the 1946, where they found him guilty of disorderly conduct, and then they acquitted the officer that admitted that he killed him. So he died in 1992 in the Bronx, VA. He decided to make the Bronx his home. The reason why I'm saying this is because even through all that precariousness, he found a way. And then in 2019, they erected in South Carolina a monument in his honor. And in 2018, his conviction was overturned. And they put a marker with his name. And in the bottom of that marker, it was put in Braille because he was, and I want to speak more about this in the committee, and I want the kids to know about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ephraim. Do we have any, are there any?
Unless let me just. Is there anybody else? I know I missed a couple of people online who registered in advance, but I think that's it. I mean, I know there's one person that was, but they never got back to me about their issue. So I guess I'm not just picking on Gene here, right? So that's it for the gallery, unless anybody else that I've missed.
Jeremy, can I speak?
Yes, Naomi.
Who's it?
Naomi.
Okay,
No, she's a board member. She just, okay, whatever.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be brief. There was someone who was speaking from the community about statistics on the Black community. And I just want to verbally state, just so that people also understand and think about that statistics, one, I need to understand where those statistics come from, and two, understand that there are biases in statistics. Yes, communities have issues. Black, white, all Hispanic, we all have issues, but it's very important when speaking about statistics and issues that you have the correct information and have valid resources. Because when you're communicating to different people who come from different backgrounds, it can be misconstrued. So that's what I just want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Okay, we are moving on. Next.
Well, Naomi should have brought it up when she was speaking. So it's up to the board if we want to allow her to respond, right? I mean, Naomi, would you like a response from the, I think it's only fair. I mean, she's, yes, no?
I don't need a response, Jeremy.
No, but she would like to respond. So if that's okay, it's up to the board. Hold on. How's the board feel?
Okay, so we have a yes. Charlene, you need to, for the recording, you have to come up with the moon.
The statistics regarding reading and math proficiencies in Black students came from the U.S. Department of Education, 2021. The statistics regarding homicide victims and persons that are arrested for that came from the New York State Department, the crime stats, and it was written by Kishant. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Sewell, I think she's the head of all of our police. So that's where that came from. And the statistic regarding 70% or better of Black children being born out of wedlock comes from census data. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene.
As I also stated, statistics can be biased. So I just want people have to be just very careful. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Naomi. All right, let's, moving on. Okay, next up on the agenda, my favorite, chair report. Okay, I want to thank the CB staff, board members, and the public for attending, and my maestros for always welcoming us. In the month of April, we recognize Passover, Easter, Orthodox Easter, Eid al-Fitr, end of Ramadan, and Earth Day. And if I have forgotten anything, I do apologize. My April community agreement is let us find solution and unity in our differences. Chairs and co-chairs, continue to introduce yourselves and committee members for new attendees so they can differentiate between committee members and the public, along with addressing the conduct statement printed at the end of each agenda. A note to the public, all of our meetings are videotaped, live streamed, and posted on our CB11 YouTube site. I urge our community to stay connected and informed by watching what you missed. A link to our YouTube page can be found at the top of the minutes page of Community Board 11. And I have an urgent message to the committees. Where are the minutes? Please. I know April was hectic, but minutes are important. Please get them to the staff ASAP after each meeting in a timely fashion. And the same goes for the agendas. Okay, number 1, waiving of signatures requested by Grace Lavaggio regarding their Hello Summer Learning Kickoff. Okay, this is what I'm going to state. In January, Grace requested this to be put on the February Transportation Committee, but that February committee was canceled. It has since been discussed in leadership, but it was not voted on in leadership. To note, the Transportation Chair also agreed on this waiving of the signatures. So I am requesting a board member to make a motion now to waive the signature request as it is a recurring event and it has been for 10 years. So I am requesting a board member to do that. Malcolm?
I'll make that motion.
Seconded by Malcolm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did somebody push the button? Is the button on? Just leave the button. Someone may have turned it off. Turns red, we'll change the batteries.
The tower on the bottom.
I'm just tired today, bro. Yes, just wanted to say that summer learning, is there a way that we just get rid of that just for this event, like make an annual event, like that we respect? Because, you know, when kids go to school and they come out of school to summer vacation and they go back to school, they go through the slide. And, you know, for certain kids, sometimes they go back 2 grade levels by the time they get back to school. So I really appreciate that you do this event every single year. Personally, it means a lot. But like, you know, we can just recognize this at our community and that happens every single year. I really appreciate it.
Okay, let's take it to a vote. And finally, we get it to a vote. Is there any other discussion on this from the board, not the public? Go ahead, Debbie.
I don't have anything against the event at all. Like I've said before to Manny, I love and respect the library. But the problem is that it's part of the bylaws that if it's under a new entity, it needs to have, it has to go and get the signatures as if it was a new event, even though it's the same event, but different host. I'm just worried that using this would set a precedent for other organizations or what have you to then, you know, supersede trying to get their signatures by just shifting the host.
Okay. Okay, so is there, thank you, Deb. Thank you, Deb. I think everybody understands that, that part of the discussion. So my question is there any other discussion on this from the board members? All right, can we take, is there any, out of the board members here present today, and I guess, do we also have it online also? So the board members,
No hands raised.
okay. Okay, so can we take a vote? The vote is to make it easier. Is there any opposition? How many of the board members are in opposition of waiving the votes? Waiving their signatures? Okay. You have a discussion, you have a question?
I think that this is twofold. I also have no objection whatsoever to the event, but if we're waiving a bylaw, that could set a precedent, so I think it is twofold. And I know that you can waive, that there are exceptions and you can waive things, but I do think that it is two-part. And again, I have absolutely no objection to the event.
Hi, is there a way we can maybe amend the motion to state something like, we're
Hazel.
waiving? Yeah? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
I was saying,
Ask her to repeat.
So that's how you hear.
is there a way that we can amend the motion to state something like, in this case, because of the circumstances?
We could state, it is being recorded. So verbally, we can state in this situation that since this is an unusual situation, this is obviously never come before the board. Boy, there's a lot of first times happening. So this has never come before the board before. Not that in my tenure here, but others would probably agree with me. As far as bringing it up to the bylaws, we could say that it's twofold, but I would like to think that in the light of the situation, we can vote on it for it to move ahead. This has to move ahead in a timely fashion. And if we do bring it up to the bylaws, it has to be brought up to the next bylaws. And then after that, it will be coming in June to be discussed. And by that time, the event will be happening. So in this particular case, with regards to the time precedent, since Grace did come in a timely fashion, but because it could not be presented at the committee because the committee was canceled in February, it should not be falling back to her so that there is any kind of stoppage of this particular event. That will only be a positive thing.
Bernadette,
So yes, we have another discussion.
Bernadette's Ken Gellick. Can we add language that say, just in the motion be amended, this should not be construed as a precedent for future action, period.
That's it. The benefits outweigh the negatives. The benefits outweigh the negatives, so I don't see a problem with it because benefits of this outweigh the negatives. So I don't have, because this is a positive thing for the community, for the children. So to me, the benefits outweigh the risk, outweigh the negatives. That's my opinion in this case.
So if you don't mind, Debbie, so I know people bring up Conti's as an example, right? Conti's, we didn't waive the signatures for them, but that was a different story. They didn't ask us. They said, we're not doing that. They were very blatant about how they responded to our request, whereas she's been asking patiently since January. I mean, I understand she had time. They had time to get signatures. You know, I mean, for what it's worth, that's Chris. Well, Chris stepped down. Yeah, I mean, Chris was present for that conversation. Go ahead, Debbie.
Motion that says that it's just this one time so that somebody else can't use this as precedent. Right. And that's what I was saying. I could. could not hear what Ken said.
Can you repeat the wordage, the verbiage?
Windshield. Jay, well, excuse me for being a romantic. You know what? I think you're right, Sam. I should just be at peace with being alone.
If I may, I raise my hand. It's Sandy. He just said, make this
Yeah,
a
Sandy,
one.
do you have your TV on or something? If so, could you please turn it off?
No, I'll make this
Or
louder.
somebody else is maybe unmuted?
All
Go
right.
ahead, go ahead, Sandy.
All righty. What I'm trying to say is that Ken said, make this a one-time deal. Do not set it as a market, not as a precedent.
The language that the motion should include language that should not be construed as a precedent, period.
They did that, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. And then
Okay,
I
do we
would
have
agree.
anybody else with their hands up?
Keith Rams.
I do. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, what it is I understand that this is a very good event. It's a very good event.
A little bit louder, Keith. A little bit louder.
Okay, I don't have any problem with this event, but I know that when we as Nitro residents ask this community board to block the streets, there's certain things we have to do. You ain't gonna give us no break. So what it is you're gonna let them have this thing one time, and you don't want it to be a precedent. I think if you do it for them, do it for everybody. You cannot do this because I know that when we ask for stuff, we have to do it by the book. Now you're telling these people that they can have it. It ain't fair and it ain't right, and I don't like it. But the event, I don't have a problem with it. But get the signatures.
What?
I don't think he's ever. I don't know.
So
Can we move to a vote?
this event has been going on for 10 years at least, okay? The library has been in partnership with Grace throughout all the time that this has been going on. So the only thing that we're asking is that since the library is now taking it over, that we just waive the need for the signatures. That's all we're asking. They're not changing partners. They're not changing anyone who's running it.
And also, Keith, I'm not familiar with what activity permit you're talking about in which we required you to get signatures, but we can talk about that later if you want further.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Can we take a vote?
Which one? Serena first? Okay, go ahead.
Don't hit the button. Okay. Hello.
So it should be a green button. Leave it alone. If it turns red, we'll change the batteries. That's it. Go ahead, Serena.
Okay, Grace. So is there, am I understanding? I am. Should I don't want to okay. So am I understanding, I understand, but would you be amendable for just this one time, right? Because this has been your event for 10 years, you've been saying, right? To work alongside the library and it still be your event in conjunction with, but the monies are coming from the library and you can still do it together, like with your flyers and your promotions. So it's like NPL and your organization are, right. Wait, but so I guess I'm really confused as to why we even have to, that's what I'm confused about.
So, hold on, Chris, Chris.
So when the first time anybody has an event, a block party, you have to put in a street activity permit with the city. They require that, they used to be 90 days, I think they're down to 60 days, but then the community board requires 120 days. And you have to get, for a first time event, you have to get signatures of 55, at least 55% of the residents in that area agreeing that, yes, we're going to shut down the street. And they know there's no parking that day, that. So we did that 10 years ago. And the thing is the library and I we're partnering, we're still partnering. The flyer is going to be a mutual flyer as well, like we've always done. It's just this year, he was able to get a grant to put it together. And it's the 10th anniversary of the Allerton Barnes Block Association. So I was, it would help us out with the money, and we wanted a bigger and better event because it's 10 years. We're celebrating 10 years together.
The library is the one that needs to get the signatures. That's where we're
Well-
running into this
Well,
problem.
we've partnered, it's been both of us for all these years. I've just always been the one to put in the street activity permit.
And you didn't do that this year?
Well,
And why?
Well, I
yeah.
did initially, but then he said, listen, I got a grant. Can I do it this year? I'll help you out. And this way we can honor ABBA. And we do a summer reading kickoff like we do every year.
Do you have the permit? You said you put it in for.
I
this
put
year.
in, but then I changed the date for next year. So the permit I put in, I asked to be rescheduled for next year, which they did that. So that he could put in a permit
What date is it, the event?
June 24th.
June 24th. Oh,
It's a Saturday. It's always a Saturday. Yeah.
Is it that they can only have the permit in the library's name because of the grant, and that's why ABBA's name is not on top of it?
Are we okay? Can Chris say something? Chris, you want to still speak or you?
It depends from the board. I can clarify everything when it comes to that matter technically. Okay, it's Chris and his ex. She put it in as Chris, but yet again, the event is as X. So in this matter, it's a brand new event. By being a brand new event, you can read it in our rules and regulations that all the community organizations, even block parties, if it's brand new, they have to come in front of us and bring a 60%, minimum 60% of the population signatures, where they will agree, and actually on top of the signatures that they're gonna collect, has to specify what exactly is these signatures taken for. It is true.
Yeah, but this is not a new event. It's just,
So, no, but
it's just
what
a
what I'm
permit
trying
in,
to say is this,
it's a permit in a new name, but it's not a new event.
Correct.
The event's been going on for 10 years. That's like if NIDC were to come and say, you know what, Grace, we're going to help you with this event, but for grant purposes, the permit has to be in our name, but it's still your event. So we're just asking that the signature be waived this year because of the technicality.
So unless there's more discussion, are we prepared to take a vote? Is everybody prepared to vote? Or you want to say something, Rich? Okay, you want to restate the motion? Yeah, I'll put it on. I mean, you tell me. Go ahead.
Move to end discussion. Do it.
Okay.
That's it. No more discussion.
All right, nobody else online. Like Bernadette said, it's easier to do objections and abstentions first, and then everybody else will be in favor, right? Or recusals separately. So you want to go ahead?
You could handle it. Okay, is there, the vote the motion is in this specific situation with the wording that was brought to the board from Ken Gelnick to waive the signatures in this specific situation, since it has been a ongoing event for the last 10 years. So everyone in opposition of waiving the signatures, please raise your hand. Okay, we have one. Let's just check online to make sure. And Keith Ramsey?
Keith Ramsey is abstaining.
Abstaining, okay, so you're abstaining. So we have one person abstaining and one in opposition. Okay,
I'm abstaining too. Heard him.
who?
Shradden and
Okay, Shrado. Are you abstaining, Shrado?
Correct.
Okay, okay. Anyone else? Okay, motion carries.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I just want to point something out. There, regarding minutes, some people are good about getting me minutes, whether it's Serena or Phyllis. So it's not all on board members to publish these things, right? But yeah, we can all, some of us, yeah, we can use more assistance. So you get this stuff, I appreciate it. I don't always publish it on time. But at least, I try to get it at least at 24 hours in advance so you can vote on it. We will get there. We will publish them, within our legal requirements. One day ideally one day there'll be a perfect world in which we do this all in accordance with the law.
Okay, Jeremy, I have a question about that because, my committee meets remotely all the time. And I was told that because we do meet remotely, we are not obligated to present minutes because we have the recording. So is that true or is that not true? Because if it's not true, I will start,
It's
giving you
true
some minutes.
it's true to a degree. We do eventually have to do minutes, supposedly.
Okay, so then-
Unfortunately. Even
so then
though our recordings are publicly available online, most of them, even this one, and maybe Hazel, I got a text from a board member that the sound quality tonight is excellent. So I know we had a hiccup 2 meetings ago. I don't know about the last meeting. So whenever we do have positive feedback when something like this is working, it does, outside of, any disruptions, it seems like the meeting is much more easier to manage, even though it's still a lot for me to juggle. Okay, is that clear enough, Hazel?
Yeah. So then I'll do my minutes. I mean, I keep minutes from all my meetings. I'll just do them all then.
All right, thank you, Hazel.
Yes, you can have it.
Okay, is that all the way up? Okay, I'll quickly going to go through this. So the next that is my number 2 over here on the chair, my chair report is that an ad hoc committee is being formed to discuss the specifics of the 5G installation locations in Community Board 11. That is in process. The next is for the month of both the treasurer and the sergeant of arms position are up for election this June. A nominating and elections committee has been formed, and we will be taking nominations. That committee is not fully here this evening, so am I correct that our nominations will not be this evening? They are this evening, right, because it has to be 2 months before June. So that is going to be as it is on our schedule, which is, if I'm correct, right. So it'll be in our agenda. So anyway, as far as the chair's report, I'm just going to end it with saying that, we also have a bylaws amendment that has been proposed for mandatory diversity training for board members. It has been presented in writing to the chair as per our bylaws. And this will be, presented to the meeting of the community board, which is being done right now, just not in discussion, just bringing it to the board's attention. But there will not be a vote at this meeting because it has to first come before the bylaws meeting. Okay, so just so everybody knows, it was given in writing to the chair, and we are following the bylaws, the steps in the bylaws as stated. Okay, and to finish things off, I just want to say to close, Community Board 11 will continue to serve all who reside in its borders by being a democracy and by adhering to our process and our procedures. Thank you.
We can clap. So Bernadette, in answer to just 2 things, the 5G, from what I understand, that's halted for right now. We, as far as the city, made a determination that because there wasn't actual research done on the sites to determine the emission, they halted that. So I think it's important, just fact. Right. So, so I just wanted to share that. And then, in regards to, let me just go here really quickly. You mentioned the mandatory training, and I absolutely love that for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I don't know if this is the proper time right now to bring this up, but I want to make a motion to resurrect the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee that we once had here.
That, okay? It's not, this here is just notes about things that we were discussing. This is the chair report. And as far as bringing up, is that what you're saying as far as bringing up? Say it again.
I'm saying that's why I said I don't know if it was the right time to bring it up, but since you had mentioned it, I was going to ask that we revisit the DEI committee that we had at CB 11. I believe it was about a year and a half ago. I don't know why it's no longer, but if we can resurrect it again, I think that would be a great idea.
I think there was, if I can add to that, I think that there was a request to speak to the previous board members with contact information to sort of get more information about why it did not continue before it gets resurrected, that to do a little more research about why it was. And this could also be brought up for new business, just to say where its proper place is, because it's not here on the agenda for tonight, but it could be brought up for new business for further discussion.
Okay, so then, yeah, I'm fine.
Thank you. So that, next on our agenda is the treasurer's report.
The treasurer's report has been submitted and it has been published on the website. One thing that I did want to bring up in case there's any questions was the increase to the Verizon bill listed on the Friends of CB 11 report. That was due to the purchase of the portable Wi-Fi device that we are now using to make the processing and the Wi-Fi better so that the people online have a better view and hearing of our meetings. So that's the increase. It should go back down to the regular amount next month. So if anybody has any questions about anything else on it, as always, I invite you to reach out to me with any questions. Thank you.
Next on our agenda is the secretary's report. Is that Hazel?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, so the minutes are not, they're not in final form, or I mean, I published them, but so I was going to bring this up under my report, Hazel, some of it. You want me to talk about it now? It's up to you.
It doesn't matter because you're up next anyway. So you can
Yeah, I
talk
mean,
about it.
it's the only thing to my, I mean, there's maybe a few small things, but really the biggest thing is, like, we don't know, when the elected official reps come and speak, please clearly state your name. I had Harriet go back and look at the minutes. Some people didn't actually give their name. So that's one of the most important things, I think. I mean, it's not that important, but they do need to be edited slightly, at least for the way I think they should be online, for what it's worth. If that makes sense.
Okay, so in other words, we cannot vote on them tonight.
I mean, you can, but
Well,
they should be,
They
we should have their
not.
names there, the elected reps, to
Yeah,
say the least.
so I believe we shouldn't vote on them until they are,
Right.
finalized in a draft or
Yeah.
whatever wording you want to use.
Okay, so we can hold off, unless anybody has questions, we can hold off till next month then?
Yes.
Okay, so, Hazel, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that was it. That's the one job I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We're moving on to the district manager's report.
Okay, so it's me anyway, right? All right, so, okay, economic development. So there was a request to meet with the bid. I think the request, last I clarified it with Chris, we would reach out to the council member's office and try to arrange for a meeting or dialogue. I don't know. Malcolm might know more, or Chris. I don't know if everybody saw the email I forwarded out. The council member did try having a meeting with the White Plains Road bid and the Palm Parkway Neighborhood Association. And supposedly it was scheduled, but then the bid was a no-show. So I really don't know where to go forward with this. I know the council member did call me earlier today, but it was about something else and I was too busy. Today was a really bad day in terms of trying to, we had a committee meeting last night. I had to amend the agenda for that. We had a committee meeting Monday night, the agenda was supposed to be amended for that. So I don't know where we should head with this. If anybody has any suggestions. Oh, I think a member of the board was going to also try to reach out to the bid. So I don't know if that happened. Elected official reps, I already named that regarding the minutes. When committee, and this last one is important. It may not seem that way. So all remote meetings, I manually, I log in, I turn it over, I start the live stream, I make, the board members co-host. I can make the chairperson of the committee the host. And I can still jump back. I should probably do that because that way you can lock the meeting. So going forward, once I turn the live stream on, I will make the chairperson of the host of the meeting. But I stay in the meeting, I leave my laptop on. But then I can't be in every single committee meeting. Like when it's kind of more important, like bylaws or leadership, I always have to be in, historically at least. You want to text me? I'm not like the meeting last night. I saw 5 minutes after the meeting because I checked my phone, but the meeting Monday night, I didn't see till like an hour later. Usually Debbie will call me or say, hey, Jeremy, turn off the recording. Please call me. Don't text me, call me. Again, the reason I do that, I mean, I try to, well, I mean, if I left my note, like right, even now, if I left the ringer on, the notification, ding, 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 like I can tell you people in my house, they're already upset with me that I turn over every meeting. So that's why I do it that way. All right. So like, I know when in the past, like I know Malcolm would call me when there's a problem, there was misunderstanding. I jump right back into the meeting. I answer your question, whatever. I know text is convenient, but please, if possible, just give me a call. I know it's hard, especially if you're a chairperson and you're running the meeting, but whenever the meeting is over or if you need assistance, just call me. I will jump right back into the meeting ASAP. All right. Is that clear? Unless you have questions, I'm sure there's something else we can talk about later.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any questions online? Do you want to check to see if there are any questions online? I don't. Okay. All right. We're going to go on to the committee reports. The first up is community development budget priorities. Serena?
Good evening, everyone. So at last night's meeting, we put forth a motion to host the first annual Juneteenth event for CB11. The event will take place at Brady Court. And we want to just thank Brady Court for just allowing us the venue space. And what we're asking the board is for support for $800 in support of this event. I've already reached out to just about all of our elected officials, Senator Rivera, Bailey, Councilmember Felice responded, Senator Rivera responded. We are in conversation. I'm still waiting for certain electeds to get back to me. Also, the community, our education and culture committee, we're going to be doing this event in tandem. So Tiz and I will be working together to do this, and there's possible funding from the Morris Park bid, and we'll be talking to them as well. But for right now, in order for us to get this event moving and off the ground, we're asking the board's support for $800 to be able to secure the event.
Motion was made in committee, right?
Yes, and
Okay, so
$800 will be refunded after the event.
okay.
That's a deposit.
So the motion is live and it's open for discussion. Unless there's any discussion, we'll just vote. Go ahead, Bernadette.
I have a discussion with this that Serena, do I have your attention? Okay.
You know, sometimes your questions, maybe they land for me, they just don't land right, but go ahead.
If you could continue to ask the elected officials for some sort of funding for this would be great. But, and then the board could give maybe $500 of that and maybe 300 can come for funding.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It is $500, but we have to initially put up the 8 and the board will get back the 300. So in essence, it's just 500, but this is just a protocol.
Okay, so that's the motion. Okay, thank you.
Just one thing I want, so this would have to come out of the Friends of budget, right? Because I don't think Brady Court is a registered vendor with the city of New York, right?
I'm not sure, but I can find out and I can get.
Ideally, it's a registered vendor. We can, Harriet in the past has hooked people up with registering. Because it's, the thing with the city budget versus Friends of is you use it or lose it, like by June 30th. So yeah, it wouldn't happen in this event. I'm assuming they're not a city vendor. The problem with the Friends of, which we got to think about going forward, this is a small amount compared to the holiday dinner we did, but we currently have no income coming in. I know we were talking about meeting with parks, maybe to go over these issues. They're actually very good about meeting with us to go over budget priorities. But yeah, since the pandemic, they shut down the carnival in Bronx Park, and that was how we funded Friends of. And say the electeds can't give for this event, they can contribute towards Friends of. Other community boards do get money from electeds for their city budget. So that's something else we should maybe pursue. So that's just something to keep in mind going forward. Ideally, we'll resurrect the carnival in Bronx Park. Because right now we're the Friends of account, which is not-for-profit arm, it's less than 11 only over 10. And like that holiday dinner, which is on the report, was $1,200. So I don't know what we should do going forward every winter. Okay. So unless there's any other discussion, we'll call for a vote.
I do. Thank you.
So the easy way is any objections or abstentions?
Keith Ramsey abstained.
Oh, you're going to recuse yourself. Keith Ramsey, you are doing what?
I'm abstaining from this.
So Keith is abstaining. Jeanette Wilson is going to recuse herself because she's part of the Brady Court Cooperative, which would receive the funds. Deb's abstaining. And just, I don't know if you said this, Serena, because it's hard to keep track of everything. Normally they're giving a discount, right? Or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you mentioned that. I don't know.
Yes, well, I didn't mention it, but the board met and agreed to give us the discount. So we're not being charged the full rate.
The Brady Court
The
Board.
Brady
Because it's a
Court
cooperative. Okay.
Cooperative, yes.
Okay. So 2 abstentions, no against, motion carries, right?
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
And thank you.
Yeah. 1 recusal. Oh, also one other, yeah. Okay.
I have one more thing to
Yeah, go ahead,
share,
go ahead.
and it's really great news. And I just want to say congratulations to our CB, to our district. We received an award from the New York City Housing Authority of $3,650,000 to renovate the Eastchester Gardens. More to come, but this is why the budget priorities are important and all of the requests are important. So thank you to everyone that has given your input, and congratulations.
If I may say one other thing about in terms of, I know we don't want to do discussion, but in terms of the bylaw proposal Bernadette mentioned, I did suggest it, I think at least to Malcolm, maybe that's something we should include in our budget priorities. The mandatory diversity training, I mean,
Okay.
I mean, obviously something to, bring up and then we vote on it at some point, but
We can just do it, include it.
yeah, yeah, when it comes time around, I know we got some time.
Yeah.
But that's an idea. Go ahead, Tiz.
We've discussed it, Cynthia, Malcolm and I, for the Education Committee. We're going to bring it into the Education Committee. And I've already reached out to Kiara. I don't know if she's still on. See.
From the
I
BP's
sent an
office.
email to see if they had someone that can handle it for us at
So,
the Education Committee.
Yeah, again, I don't want to take up too much more time of our time since we're obviously already 9:00. I've already shared this with certain people that, Naomi, my apologies, just like Debbie's last name. I'll get it right one day, okay?
It's like Naomi Campbell, okay?
Yeah, and no, not Naomi. So, yeah. I shared with Bernadette and whoever was on the email, and I can share with the whole board. So you may recall in 2020, I shared an email with you then, at least if you're on the board, the Borough President's Office said they were going to mandate this training then. I don't know what's taking so long because, it's 2023 and I know because it's not just diversity training, there's TQ training. There's also EEO training. I can tell you that it was no problem for 2 members to make it mandatory for 2 members in 2019 within less than 3 months. So I really hope they can get on top of it sooner rather than later, for what it's worth. Go ahead, it's on now.
Okay, we're going to go on to the economic development. And is Joe? Yeah, so we the chair and the co-chair, so Jeremy's.
Veronica's on the committee. I don't know if anybody else from the committee wants to handle this.
I got it. Jeremy.
That's all.
No, it's just that, I was just trying to be quick because I don't want to bore anybody. So back to the surveys, the Spanish language document is up. It's on the website. It's fillable. And so everyone from English to Albanian and Spanish. And as we move along, we'll have it available. Now, the city is also going to have it available, but it's not available just yet until June. It'll be available in about 15 different languages, but we wanted to just jump ahead of that for our community and give our community the opportunity to give their feedback and their input. So that's done. And then the site visit request form that was sent to Jeremy to share with the entire committee, the boards, so that we could share with everyone. So whenever anyone has requests for the budget in September, it's broken down in a very simple way so that you know what capital and what expenses are. And so it'll make it easier for everybody to give their input. And that's it.
And I don't know if I've said this publicly before here or at leadership, but as far as I remember, Serena, correct me if I'm wrong, you pushing the language issue with city planning has got them to do this citywide. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yes. Congratulations. Thank you. Hold on, microphone. Here, take this one.
Be fillable?
Under forms. So you go to forms on our website, and then it's, I think right there, you'll see the survey, you'll see the community budget, and then right under there.
Thank you.
There. You're welcome.
Yeah, forms and guidelines. I still have to tweak the Spanish a little bit to make it a little bit more fillable, but it'll happen. No, so Veronica.
Okay, so in the interest of time, I'm going to break this into 2 separate motions, okay? The first is for renewals. The Economic Development Committee met, and we voted on Cafe Colonial Restaurant located at 2070 White Plains Road and La Paranda Restaurant at 2712 White Plains Road. There were no issues with the police. There were no issues from the community that we are aware of. So we made a motion that the Community Board 11 sent an email of no objection for the renewal of both of these locations. Are there any discussions online?
I think the biggest thing is, are any objections or abstentions? Sometimes when we group these together, one person is opposed to one particular restaurant. So let us know up front. Otherwise, yeah, it's easier to group them.
Okay, so are there any objections? Anything online? I don't see them. Any abstentions? Okay, abstention motion passes unanimously. The second motion is for La Casa de Mofongo and Red Bear Lounge. La Casa de Mofongo is located at 1750, 1780 East Gun Hill Road, and Red Bear Lounge is at 1480 Mace Avenue. Again, there were no issues from the police. There were no issues from the community that we are aware of. So I make a motion that Community Board 11 sent an email of no objection to New York State Liquor Authority for the new liquor license application for those two entities. So are there any discussions, any objections, discussion?
Discussion is, to my understanding, La Casa del Mofongo is not even open for business yet. So, right.
It's a new owner, but we did.
Right, so there wouldn't be any.
There wouldn't be
police
any,
issues.
yes, there's no police issues, but they do own another business that, as far as my understanding, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, there were no issues with that particular owner, which is why we were okay with making a motion to, right, we did send the request out to ask them to come to the community board to let us know what their plans are for the location. Okay, so any further discussion? Chris, are they coming? No, not yet. Red Bear did come. Yeah,
Yes,
they were
Red
there.
Bear was present and very informative.
I'm sorry. What was the name of the other business that the owners of Casa de Mofongo own?
Casa de Mofongo.
Where at?
That's the Gun Hill, that's the former TGI Friday.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
No, the other location. Do you remember where?
Red Bear Lounge, it's,
No, no, Deb. Do you remember where the Casa de Mofongo, the other location is located? Inwood.
7th Street.
Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Chris.
One.
Okay, so barring any further discussion, is there any objections? Any abstentions?
Sorry, I'm thinking about this. So they didn't come to talk to us. I'm voting no. So what? No, I know, but they didn't have the, hold on. So what percentage of the time do they show up?
Sorry?
Show up, most show
Most of the
up,
time they
over
do.
80%, we would say?
Yeah, there's, most of them do come.
Okay.
We don't ask them to come anymore for renewals. They can if they want, but we don't really send out anything for renewals. But we do ask them to come just so the committee could get to know them and the public if they have anything to say, but they're not required.
Understood, I'm voting no.
Okay.
Now, when they notified us, it was through an attorney or a representative. Do you remember?
It was through an attorney.
And we reached out to them and, okay.
I've sent an email and requested them to come to our meeting. So far, nothing.
Okay.
But again, I mean, I'm emphasizing the part, by law, the only thing they have to present to us is the 30-day notice. They can come just for introduction if they want to. So by law, they have to send only the 30-day notice.
No, I get it, but it's being part of the community, right? So it's like, come here, talk to us, know us, you're gonna be up the block, let's talk about it, but it didn't have,
And just to be clear, a lot of the businesses, because it's a business.
Yeah.
They want your business, so they're going to come. So that's generally why they sometimes bend over backwards for us when they shouldn't, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We have another question.
Jeremy, wasn't there a question about security at the place? They weren't sure what kind of security would be there. I know Joe had mentioned that last time we discussed
For
it.
Casa de Mofongo, well, they weren't there, so there wasn't really a question of, yeah, it's not open yet, so that was something that would have to come up when we were able to talk with them.
Okay, so can we vote then? Good.
So I'm gonna,
Hold on, Hazel?
Yeah,
Okay.
Who voted? I'm sorry, who
Hold on,
voted?
Hazel.
Who
Well,
voted?
no,
We're gonna separate.
okay, Hazel first. We do Hazel?
Yeah, who
Hazel?
voted? Who voted against?
Wait,
sorry.
hold on, Hazel, because I have to separate it now that there's issues with one of the locations, it has to be put into two motions. So the
Oh.
first motion is going to be that the Community Board 11 send an email of no objection to the New York State Liquor Authority regarding the new liquor license application for La Casa de Mofongo. Right. So are there any objections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
So
7.
mostly everybody in person is objecting. How about online?
Anybody online?
I mean, you know, it's just easier to take a roll call vote because technically we need to, it's as painful as it is, we technically need to know how everybody votes. So when it's a little too close for comfort, we should just do that.
I'm
So,
sorry, can you repeat the motion? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
so it's item 8B3. Motion that Community Board 11 send an email of no objection to the New York State Liquor Authority regarding the new liquor license application, should say application for La Casa del Mofongo, 1750 to 1780 East Gun Hill Road. It's a full license, beer, wine. So the motion is no objection. We have a slew of objections in person. I don't know about online, so it's just easier to do a roll call vote. And I always start with the chairperson because that's how I do it, like the list of our board members. Generally speaking, or what starts with the officers. We can always change that if anybody has a problem going forward. Bernadette Ferrara?
Abstaining.
Okay. Veronica Castro?
No.
Okay. Hazel Mira?
I'm gonna.
It's to not object. It's, yeah. I don't
Okay,
know if that,
I'm gonna abstain because I am so confused right now.
it's all right. Oral. Junior here, Chun Chun? Is Chun, she's online? I don't know if she's available right now. Christine? Miguel? Averill Francis? Rabbi Fuchs? Malcolm Gray? Kenneth Galnick? I don't know if he's still on.
I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Deborah Kowalik? Yeah, right?
You got it right.
Okay. Mulaney? No, I don't know if she was on. Roger McCrossan? Serena Muniz?
Roger abstains.
What is, Roger abstains, okay. Serena?
No.
Phyllis? Naomi?
Abstaining.
Pemberton? Toretto? Purdom?
I'm for it.
Hammond?
I'm in favor of it.
Yes, okay. Keith Ramsey?
Yes.
Richard Reynoso said no. Cynthia Rodriguez? Eliezer Rodriguez?
Yes.
Harry, is Harry still online?
Yes.
Lisa Soto? Sandra Unger?
No.
Mhm.
Dwayne Williams?
In favor of no objections.
Okay. Jeanette Wilson? All right, so the motion fails.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have the exact numbers. I can tally them up at whatever. If you want to continue, Veronica, I can tally it up for the record.
So just so you know, even though we voted no, this is just a referral to the SLA. There's still, they can still go ahead and give the license. I just want everyone to understand that even though we're against it, it may not make a difference to the SLA. It's just a referral. Okay. Now, Jeremy, should
No, I said that's true, Veronica.
we wait? Oh, sorry. Should we wait for the next economic development meeting to set a letter of objection or?
Well, I mean, so I think it okay, you don't want to give her a recommendation. I think that's fine. Leave it as alone. If the SLA approves it, the SLA approves it. If we object to the application on the basis that they just simply didn't respond.
Right.
Unless the SLA has a concern or a problem with it, generally more serious concern, like maybe a police matter, it's
I
not
would
going to
like to
matter.
give them a chance to come to the committee, if
Yeah.
that's okay with the board. we'll invite them again to see if they'll come to our next economic development meeting. That way we could get to know them and ask any questions we
Let
have.
them know how we voted too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can, or we
Can you
we can
read out
attempt
them
to.
Again for us, please.
I'm telling you, already, certain things already passed, so it's a possibility. They'll have put it in.
Yeah, all right. Well, we can still reach out. We can still ask them to come. Sometimes, a lot of times they'll do that anyway. Maybe it's just in getting in touch with the right person. Maybe they have the wrong representative sending us stuff. Next one,
So
Veronica?
there's one last motion, and that's for the Red Bear Lounge located at 1480 Mace Avenue. I make a motion that Community Board 11 send an email of no objection to New York State Liquor Authority regarding the new liquor license for them. They showed up, they gave us a lot of information, they seemed very nice. And there was no issue with the 49th precinct, with that area. Okay, so any discussion? Any objections? Online? Okay, any abstentions? Seeing none at all, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Veronica. Thank you, everybody. We're going on to land use. So Ken?
Hi, good
Are you
evening.
there?
Hi, I'm still here. Good evening, everybody. Land Use Committee had a meeting on April 3rd. This was about 2344 East Chester Road. What it basically is they are changing the use from a law office to a dental office. They came, they showed us the plans. They're gonna basically improve the property a little bit, no new construction, no new anything. And the committee voted to recommend, have the board recommended there's no objection to this application. Make a motion that the board send a letter of no objection to this application.
Okay. So,
And
yes.
can I have a second to the money?
So is there, go ahead, Ken.
Just have a second to the motion because,
Yeah, no, it was approved in committee, wasn't it, Ken?
yes,
Yeah, so then so it's live, it's open for discussion then, after you read it. So unless there's questions, we'll take a vote, Ken? All right?
okay.
I don't see any hands here or online.
All, I'm asking any objection, we'll do it the same way as everybody's been doing. Any objections to the application? Any objections to this? Any abstentions? Any recusals? Jeremy, it's unanimous. That motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ken.
you, everybody.
Thank you, Ken. Next, we're moving on to public safety.
Yeah, it's an old one, but whatever, it's,
Who?
she has a motion.
Keep it.
Quite big.
Oh. You want to do it, Tis? No? Okay. So public safety met. We have a motion to send written correspondence to Assembly Member Heasty, asking him to install cameras and lighting on the exterior of his district office due to numerous shootings occurring in the vicinity. So right around his office, there's been some shooting activity and some violence in that area. If he puts some lighting in front of his office, we feel that it might be brighten up the area and cause less or deter some of the violence that's happening there. So do we have any discussion?
Okay.
I don't know if that was caught on the record. The address is on Gun Hill, the corner of Fenton. And for what it's worth, the cops love light because criminals don't like to be in the light.
Sorry. At least once a month, there's a shooting on that corner.
And in fact, that day there was a shooting.
Yeah.
Hello? All right. Is it possible that we can possibly push a city council person to NYP over there? Okay, for that? Because that's a reoccurring issue. Maybe also having light and police presence in that area might lessen the issues over there.
We can definitely bring that up at our next meeting. And with the 4-9 precinct, they usually come to our public safety meeting, so we'll bring that up to them. Thank
I
you.
know the Argus cameras were approved. Marjorie, Councilwoman Velasquez did she's giving cameras to the 4-9 and the 4-5, both in her district.
Awesome.
So they were approved.
Is it my understanding, and I could be wrong on this, that usually it's one police plaza that decides where the cameras are put, not the community, not the council people?
Yeah, I don't know if
I'm out.
they can actually put it in that location, but the precinct is getting Argus cameras.
I mean, look, if they provide funding, they do have more pull in terms of where they go. Doesn't mean that one PP has to care ultimately.
Right.
They do it, ultimately will do what they want.
But if Assemblyman Heasey
for
puts
the
a
tribe.
camera there, it's literally right outside his office.
Well, maybe we should invite him to, I don't know if you've invited him into his office.
But you know what? I will invite him to attend our next public safety meeting, so that way we could discuss options with him. So anybody that wants to attend, I invite you to come, because you all have a really good question, so let's bring them to him and see what we can do.
Awesome. And just one more suggestion. I mean, is it possible we could probably do like a site visit in the area, just to walk around to see like how the quality of like looks like? You know, there's a lot of graffiti that can be cleaned up. If there's garbage on the floor, cleaned up. Because usually if you clean things up and you're like really active, just maintaining the area, those, you know, people just kind of like move somewhere else. You know what I mean? So maybe that's another option that we could take and, you know, to try to soften up the area a little bit.
Yeah, I can discuss it with the committee to see if they want to come with me for a site visit. If not, I'm willing to go myself to go take a look around.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
So I have
Just-
we have a question. Oh, Debbie, go ahead.
Just two FYIs. One, he's a Senate Majority Leader. And number two, as far as like a site visit and getting the feel of it, it's actually, all of Gun Hill Road is the border of CB11 and CB12, the border of the 4-9 and the 4-7. So what happens on Hasty side is CB11 and the 4-9. What happens across the street is CB12 or the 4-7. Just an FYI. No, yeah, he covers, but I'm just saying as far as our jurisdiction.
So there was more or less a question of, you know, veracity. How did this come to our attention? Was it at a precinct council meeting?
There was actually a shooting the day of.
During the day?
Yes.
Or-
Officer Tyrone.
Sorry.
Tyrone Maderos, the crime prevention officer, 4-9 precinct, mentioned it at the meeting. He's also, whenever there's been prior shootings, he's mentioned it at the meeting. So we're aware of the different times that the shootings have occurred.
Does that answer your question? Yeah. I mean, lighting obviously wouldn't help for a daytime shooting, but cameras would, right? Or at least maybe catch who did it and, yeah, maybe curb some behavior. Christine Culpepper.
I just wanted to know, has anyone called the Assembly Speaker's office? And what was their response?
We haven't, but the precinct did reach out to him and there has been no action taken yet.
Is it possible that we can have somebody from the committee reach out to the Assembly Speaker's office and talk to him about? Mhm.
Reach out to them directly and see what, I'm going to give them our suggestions, but I'm also going to invite him to the Public Safety Committee meeting. And I'll let you know if he accepts, and if he does, when he's going to be there.
Okay, thank you.
We maybe thought about reaching out to Community Board 12 as well and kind of like work together to see how we could maybe rectify this problem?
I see. Excuse me. Honestly, no, I haven't. Honestly, I haven't, but I will. That's a good idea, and I will reach out to them and see.
He might have left, but yeah. And I'll tell you what, if it doesn't stop shootings, because we have cameras at the office, all the time people come to me for various things. I mean, There was an arson across the street once upon a time. We had a guy vandalize a car. Usually it's more like car accident stuff people reach out to us for, but it's helpful. It has been helpful for people.
I just wanted to just ask quickly, what about the floodlights? Were the floodlights, are they there now? Or
No,
were they? Okay, right.
that's
And
why we're asking.
we had we had a situation in Van Nest also where we had requested that in a situation that had a lot of police activity, and it was put there, I'd say for a couple of weeks. I don't remember the total amount, but it was there enough to actually make a difference because it was during a summertime when there was always a lot of issues. It was a hot spot. So it was proactive. So if we can't get cameras, et cetera, getting the floodlights, whichever, I'm sure will be a positive thing.
Christine?
Speaking about floodlights, I know that I've seen those floodlights in other communities, and people, the residents, have complained about, those floodlights, keeping them awake at night. So we don't want to upset the residents, right? And maybe we have to think about, taking a look at the area to see how many residents are going to be affected by floodlights, if we're going to suggest something like that.
Drew, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you want other people to come, please let us know. I'll be interested.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any tenants above. It's definitely a commercial corridor strip, but it's a good question. I do remember looking online. I don't think there is, but we could be wrong. Just,
Dwayne is on. He might be able to answer that. Dwayne lives in the area.
In that particular area where we're having the incidences, there are residents adjacent to the commercial strip. So their house is literally 10 to 20 feet from where the incident occurred.
I think that the floodlights mentioned are the NYPD floodlights. Those are way too bright. If Assemblyman Heasey puts floodlights on his property, on his building, facing the deli where this is all happening, that would be a better solution.
Yep, no, definitely. I'm gonna make a call.
all right, so I'm looking at, it's just a commercial strip. There's no tenants. The tenants are further down. So it depends. They're down here, so if there are floodlights here, it may be disturbing, but right here on the corner. Yeah, but we're talking about right here on the corner, aren't we? Right here was commercial buildings. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it can reach that though from his office.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if we have lights.
Because remember, we're talking about Gun Hill Road, you know?
Our backyards meet, they have a floodlight that keeps me up all night. I can't keep my blinds open. It is blinding. And it's just a normal Home Depot type light that they have on their garage.
Call Casey's office and I will discuss it with him. And then when we do the walkthrough, we'll see what can be done, what we think would work better in that situation. Okay? Okay.
All right.
Hazel?
Yeah, I just want to know, is the motion still hot? Or is it being?
No, the motion's still on.
Okay.
I mean, also, hold on. I mean, the other side of the street's a 4-7. Like, so if we start affecting, like Christine's suggesting that, or it might affect their residents, I don't know. I mean, I think we should limit it to our side of the, I mean, I understand why can't they put lights on that building downward on front of the deli? Or they don't,
Have to get the landlord's approval. it would be much easier to get Assemblyman Heasy to put the cameras on his building. I'm sure he would be much more willing to do that, and it'll be facing the deli directly where the shootings have been happening.
So do we want to just table this motion until I made my contacts with Heasty and our affiliates at the CB12 and the 47? Because I will make the phone calls and then we can return to this. So we just want to table it for now?
So withdraw the motion?
Okay, the motion's tabled.
All right, so the motion was drawn. Okay, so. Yeah. So nominating committee, the chairs of the committee couldn't be here tonight. Debbie Cowlick's on the committee. What's that?
She's not.
Oh, Joanne Rubino's here?
She's not on. She's not on.
Well, maybe she joined late. I mean, I don't see her now, so. All right, so Debbie, do you want to talk about nominations and how the election's going to work? I mean, just that last paragraph is important on the bylaws.
Well, there's two incumbents that are up for reelection. All nominees must have at least 2 years of board membership to be eligible to be a candidate for any officer position. Nominations shall be presented in the month of April and May. Nominations may also be made by any member and except for recommendations made by the nomination and election 10 working days of the nomination or in person at the April or May meeting. And they must provide a written or oral statement to the community board at least 72 hours prior to each election indicating why they seek elected position. So we have, first we'll do nominations for treasurer. The current incumbent is Veronica Castro. Do you wish to seek reelection?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So if she does, I'm going to ask somebody to make a motion.
So I would like to make a motion for nomination for treasurer. I nominate Veronica Castro.
I second.
Veronica, do you accept?
Yes, I accept.
Okay, so she has to comply with what you read on the bylaws for her to be on the ballot. Now, do you want to take motion, or you want to see if anyone else from the floor would like to nominate anyone?
Now I make a motion. Is there anybody else who would like to be nominated for treasurer?
Or anybody online?
Anyone online?
And we will do nominations again in May.
And we will do nominations again in May.
All right, go
Now
ahead,
we-
Debbie, sorry.
Now moving on to nominations for Sergeant at Arms. The current incumbent is Oral Selkridge. Do you wish to seek reelection?
So he said yes.
Are there any would anybody like to nominate Oral for Sergeant at Arms?
I would like
I
to,
nominate Oral
Oh.
for Sergeant at Arms.
I'll second that.
Hazel seconds it. Do you accept?
Yes, I do. I accept.
Who
Is there
nominated?
anybody else? Is there anybody else who would like to run for Sergeant of Arms? Then
I would like to nominate Malcolm Gray.
Malcolm, do you accept? Oh, does anybody want to second it?
I second it.
Christine Culpepper seconds it. Malcolm, do you accept?
I'll accept it.
Can you please speak into the
I'll
microphone?
accept it.
Malcolm Gray has accepted the nomination. Is,
I would like to respond to that.
Yeah. Well, let me well, do you want me, let me state so the bylaws say membership 2 years. Malcolm's not been a member 2 years yet. But Cynthia, you want to say something now?
Give me 1 second. We have precedent already with several other members of the board. Serena Muniz, case in point, became chair of a committee. After 1 month, we have a co-chair of another committee after less than 6 months. And so Malcolm has well over a year of experience. He's maybe 3 months short of the 2 years. And I think that we can't be picking and choosing when we follow the bylaws to the letter. And so I would like for my nomination to stand. Thank you.
I understand.
Speak on.
I know there's a proposal to roll back that membership requirement, but I mean, if somebody wants to make a legal issue of it, they can, just so you're aware.
Right, I understand that there's the proposal in the bylaws committee. However, again, past practice has demonstrated that with or without that change in the bylaws committee, there have been appointments made to committees.
Yeah, but we're talking about committees versus officers, which is clearly apples and oranges, right? The bylaws are no, look at I meant to bring a copy of the bylaws, not for this, but for other stuff, but it's on our website. Jeanette? So,
I just have a question.
yeah.
It was mentioned that Malcolm is 3 months shy of the 2 years. By the time this election would come into effect, would he have his 2 years then? Because if that is the case, then I think that we're in a very gray area because.
Hazel, someone's talking right now, Hazel.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, his term wouldn't start till September, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the real question is, can we
July.
circumvent the bylaws? I mean, I don't know if we legally can do that. I mean, again, yeah, Serena's doing a great job as community development, but again, I don't know the relevance.
Right, but why can we circumvent one bylaw and not another?
What's the restriction on
I
Serena?
got a question.
No, hold on.
Hold on, everyone.
What's the restriction on Serena becoming a chair of a committee in our bylaws?
2 years.
No.
Yeah, what is?
No, there's no restriction on her being a chair of a committee. There was a proposed amendment to restrict, which we've talked about, right? But that never came to pass, just like the other one that still in the air. Yeah, the committee person is appointed by the chairperson, or in this case, Yahe or whatever. So go ahead, Malcolm. Microphone, please.
I think an issue that I personally have with this situation is that, I have to thank a lot of our board members that have been going to the bylaw committee meetings because they've been pushing a lot of great amendments through there, right? Great amendments that, helps this board adjust for the future when the term limits kick in for us, right? There was an amendment that was being pushed through that, we did a lot of work for to shorten the amount of time needed to become an executive member from 2 years to 9 years. Right? 9 months. It's been a long day. 9 months. It was discussed in that committee meeting that there would be no opposition to that bylaw amendment change coming to the full board to be voted on today. Funny enough, I looked at our agenda this morning. I found that it was not listed. I called Jeremy, asked, and apparently somebody, he said that there was no report to be reported. Despite him saying in that meeting, we'll push this through. There was no opposition. there was no opposition to that amendment being pushed through. So what I kind of want to understand is why are we not voting on that amendment today? That's a really big change to the bylaws.
So just to clarify, I didn't say that. Mr. Levitt,
Right. Yeah.
he said he couldn't come to the meeting and he has no report anyway. Yeah, so there was a proposal by Miguel, if you don't mind me saying that. Yeah, I don't know where to go forward with this because originally I think it was 6 months, but then you put it 6 months or a year.
So
There was a survey that was not completed by most of the members. So yeah, I don't know what we should do with it.
We have the transcript. So
One at a time.
Jeremy, this is Sandy. And I have my hand
Wait,
raised.
one at a time. So, Malcolm, do you want to finish?
Yes,
And then we'll go to Debbie and then to Miguel and then to Sandy.
now I'm not speaking out of air with this one, right? I mean, there's a transcript that we got from that meeting that said that bylaw amendment was going to be pushed today and that there will be no opposition. It's verbatim in those words, right? So what I want to understand is that why is it that we're preventing that from being voted on today? You're saying it wasn't finished, but it was finished. It was finished business there, and that was from the words of the chair himself.
So, Debbie, if I may.
Oh,
Yeah, then maybe Sandy, can you bear with us, please?
yeah, I just want, what I'm gonna say.
Okay, go ahead, Sandy.
The reason I want to talk now is Malcolm is absolutely correct. David, I, and Joanne were supposed to vote. We were going to meet before the meeting and just pro forma vote on exactly what Malcolm said for the change. However, we never got to vote because David is excused tonight. And I don't know, and I don't know where Joanne is, but Malcolm is correct.
Well, so yeah, I mean, he probably is. I mean,
Not
I know.
probably. Okay.
Well, I mean, Sandy, we've had these discussions before where that's not just because you say it is doesn't mean it is. So,
Right.
So you want to meet before and vote? I mean, okay. So bear with me, please. We don't even have the minutes. Bernadette asked me today, "Where's the minutes?" I don't know why David's not here tonight. Okay, but we should follow up on that. 1, 2. I know he said in the meeting, and let's pick one. That was the point of the survey. Let's pick one versus because Miguel said 6 months or a year. But how do you vote on that? Because David said if you approve that, that can't go. That doesn't make sense. 6 months or a year in the bylaws. So. I mean, I don't know if we probably. Well, the committee decided 9 months.
Miguel, I came up
Yeah,
with 9 months. Miguel at first hemmed and hawed, and then he finally said, am I correct, Miguel? That Sandy said 9 months, and let's do 9 months as a compromise. Is Miguel there?
Six. All right. It was Sandy's suggestion that it was 9 months, and we did go with 9
Thank
months, and it was to be voted on today. I will also add that this is 4 or 5 months in the making. I want to express my displeasure that it has been drawn out this long. There was a survey put out, and a lot of things got tabled over and over and over and over again. I was very, very upset that I did not see it on the agenda tonight, and I really honestly think that it should be voted on. It's been in limbo for far too long. Thank you.
I did watch the meeting online after the fact. I did not get to watch it live as it was happening. I know I did not get the survey while you guys were talking about saying that it was put out, months ahead. I, as a board member, did not get the survey, which is why there was such a low, which is probably why there was such a low voting on the survey, because a lot of people probably did not get it. You're on that committee, which is probably why you did get the survey, but I did not get the survey, ahead of time. It was like maybe like a day or two, not a month ahead of time, not 2 months ahead of time. I did not get it in any.
Yeah, you want to do it or you want me to do? It's up to you.
It was a non-binding survey. And I was against the survey from the beginning. But in the interest of, more, democracy and more, more voices being heard, I was like, okay, fine. If it didn't come back, it was completed, it was sent out. It was completed by quite a few people, but not nearly enough. But at that point, I was like, okay, if you don't want to respond, it's non-binding. But at this point, we're going to move forward with, keep asking people, we have to make a vote.
On the YouTube channel, I meticulously was looking back through my emails, and I got it maybe like a day or two before the meeting was recorded. So it was not out there for the month or two that was being discussed in your meeting.
It was discussed in the bylaws.
Ma'am? Okay, I just would like to just jump on the coattails as somebody who was also voting on this and had how I remember it being left was that, there were many, not only Deb, but did not get the survey. So, because I'm trying to remember, like, at what point, I don't remember getting a final. I was there. I don't remember getting a final. Let me finish, please. Okay. That's why it was decided that the survey was going to be sent out again, so that there was not a final decision. I'm just letting you know my.
No. So, hold on, if I may, Rich, Serena. The committee didn't vote. Sandy made that clear. I mean, I don't know if there's anything really stopping us from voting tonight. One, two, the survey, 16 people responded. It was sent out the Friday before Monday, okay? Did I want to send out way before that? Yeah, you bet I did. But and to the point where, like, David's like, does this got to be done now type thing? So it's sent out the Friday before the Monday. Yes, I understand a lot of people didn't get it, okay? I mean, I'm sorry. If I could send it out sooner, I would have. The survey results too, I don't know how reflective they are of the board. So that's why Miguel was like, whatever, right? Why do we need it? Go ahead.
I think we should.
So are we in agreement that we can vote on this tonight? On passing the bylaw?
Whoa, there's a motion on, hold on.
Somebody pointed out, there was a nomination.
Yes.
Based on right now, legally, you can't, to my knowledge. So let's roll that back and then we'll go ahead, say what you got to say.
No, I was gonna say, let's vote now, take it to bylaws next month, come back in May, then vote on it again, and then it stands or not. That's, you can do it in steps, but there's a motion now. Correct.
Well, okay, so withdraw the nomination for Malcolm.
I didn't do it.
Or, who made the nomination? Who made the nomination? Cynthia. Again, the bylaws are clear. It's not the same as the committee chair who was appointed.
Yeah, but Jeremy,
Right? Are we clear on
but
that?
Jeremy, this is not,
Yeah, Naomi.
Jeremy, this is Naomi. This is not making any sense. At the end of that meeting with the bylaws committee, the bylaws committee is only making a recommendation to the board. When they vote, whatever way they vote, they are making a recommendation to the board. So I don't understand why we can't make a vote on this issue and let the full board make the decision tonight.
Only because they failed to meet and all that stuff. I mean, they were
doesn't
supposed to
make any
meet.
sense to me.
Bylaws committee was supposed to meet. Sandy just said that. Did you not, Sandy? You guys were supposed to meet before tonight.
Yes, I did say that, but I know that it would have gone through because we were all in agreement. David just said it was like a pro forma thing. So I would say go along with it. I mean, if I'm the only one present from the bylaws and I know what it is, I would say do it.
But let's.
I don't know what else to say.
Roger has his hand up. I mean, Roger?
I was just wondering if the city charter has anything to say on that would precede the bylaws. And if not, can we just bring it up under old business, make a motion to vote on it?
So, I mean, we're doing it now. I mean, so the amendment process that's it, to my knowledge, is in the bylaws. So the proposed amendment shall, after review by the bylaws committee, become an amendment upon approval. It was reviewed. Was it voted on committee? No.
You're breaking up.
So it wasn't. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to the board what you want to do. I mean, I don't know what restrictions there are in this regard. Go ahead, Miguel.
Just, maybe we need to have a conversation. Can anybody give me a good reason why we shouldn't vote on this? Is there a reason why people don't want to actually have the board vote on something that came out of the committee already? Sandy already said, this is the spirit of, the spirit is that we were going to go through with this. That I saw that it's not on here tonight was very surprising to me. And I think that, I don't really understand what give me a good reason that we won't vote on it, but this has been going on for 6 months. Well, yeah, it does. It matters to people. It matters to people that are going to be.
Okay.
I just a question. Does this state that green buttons on? Does this state in the bylaws that the bylaw committee must vote on this before it comes to the leadership, the executive board or full board, or can we just go ahead and vote on it?
I mean, let me just read the whole section. It's really short. Article 9, Section 1, any member of the committee board may propose an amendment to these bylaws. A proposed amendment shall be submitted in writing to the chairperson, who shall present it at the next meeting of the committee board. That was done, February, I think? But no vote shall be taken at that meeting. The proposed amendment shall, after review by the bylaws committee, become an amendment to these bylaws upon its approval by a majority of the appointed members of the committee board present and voting. The real hang up or issue with the bylaws committee was Miguel's proposal was 6 months or a year. It sounds like we're set on 9 months.
That's correct.
We're going with 9. We're going he would like it to keep or change it to 9 months. So any other questions on this subject?
Because this was spoke about in nauseam.
Yes.
Please help me. It was
yes, I
in
was the
nauseam.
one who said it. And I was thankful that Miguel went along with the 9 months.
Is the city charter requiring us to have this election right now? Okay, why can't we move it to September?
So sorry, our bylaws require it.
I mean, what if I make the movement to suspend the rules to do so?
Yeah, that's a great question on can we summarily just suspend our bylaws? I don't think you can.
So I make the motion to suspend the rules.
We don't
Well,
need to
it's
do
the,
that. We can just vote tonight. That's ridiculous.
Right.
We can
Why?
just vote.
God, it sounds more like a dictatorship.
yeah,
Let's
that's,
just
and
vote.
I mean, I'm not a board member, but I'm taking, let's just vote, like,
Let's vote. It's at
Okay,
10
why
o'clock
do we
at
have the
night.
board members? We have a vote tonight. Okay, each board member, where, there were 6 months, 9 months, a year, and 2
No,
years.
just 9 months.
No,
Just 9
it's
months.
9 months.
No, why don't we vote tonight because I have to be,
Months and months and months.
you know, sometimes with the bylaws, you have to, we can't just be saying, well, because it has to go through the process.
To vote on 9 months right now. Thank you.
But
Second.
We got it down to 9 months. I second it, third it.
no,
We have to state it clearly. Let's make the motion clearly so we know exactly what we're voting on, and then we can proceed with the vote.
I make the motion to change the bylaws to the following.
you're not to the committee. The bylaws committee.
But you just said, whatever. Go ahead. Do you think? Go ahead. Do you think? Look out. Do you think?
Sandy?
What? Yes.
Okay, you're the only one here from the bylaws committee?
Well.
I'd like you to make am I right? Am I correct?
Yeah, I don't know where Joanne is. But David
No,
probably had a.
no,
family.
you're the only one here. I'd like you to make a motion for, with the 9 months and have everybody vote on it. If you can make a motion, you're from the one here for the bylaws committee, to make a motion and we will vote on it.
Okay, I make a motion that we change the bylaws to allow anyone to be nominated for a position on the executive board after 9 months. Being a member of the board.
Second.
On the executive board. After being a member for 9 months. Is that okay?
okay, so yeah, motion's been seconded. Sandy made the motion, seconded by Cynthia. And ain't no more discussion, right? Can we just go straight for a straight roll call vote, right?
I'm sorry,
right,
can I ask a question really quick? What's the benefit
who's
to have,
this?
it's Chan Chan here.
Oh, hey, Chan Chan.
Yes, what is the benefit to have it for 9 months versus 2 years?
We have this.
Say again? 9 months versus 2 years?
Yeah, what is the benefit of that?
Miguel?
Yeah, well, we can discuss it. The biggest benefit is the fact that when we hit the term limits, when they start coming in, we need to be able to allow continuity within the board, right? So if there's going to be a point where we're going to have probably half the board hitting a term limit, right? Which means that we most likely will not have another half of the board who will be eligible by the bylaws to run for executive office. So we need to shorten that time to allow anyone who's been within that 9 months period to be able to continue our governance in any type of way. So that's the big one.
But how about like experience wise,
I mean, with experience, I look at our board and I see an architect. I see, somebody who leads a union. I see somebody who works in private equity, correct?
Yeah.
Private equity. I mean, the borough president does a good job in ensuring that she's appointing experienced members to this board with their backgrounds. So I don't think experience it will ever be a problem. To be honest with you, we have a very diverse and professional board that can handle anything. And if we need guidance, we have a district manager that could guide us.
Okay.
I think you should leave it up to
Thank you.
the members of the board to vote to see what they want.
Motion's on the floor. Any other discussion? John, does that answer your question? Bernadette?
I just would like to give my that 2 year, being somebody who came onto the board, it's just, personal experience is the best testimony. And I do remember my year and a half and 2 years and up until, mental learning. And there are many different moving parts in a community board. And to have somebody at least put in, more than 6 months, it has nothing to do with a person's ability, but just of a learning curve, and to actually experience many different things that go on a board. And even up until many years that you are on the board, you're still going to get first-time events. So I do feel that 2 years does give at least a small portion of that. So that is just my opinion about the 2 years.
I really do
I want to
agree
be,
with-
it doesn't,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
think I'm cutting off.
I didn't see your hand. So either Chun or Miguel, who wants to go first? Who wants to see, so to speak? Okay, yeah, okay. So Miguel's gonna go, Chun, if you don't mind, and then you.
I just want everybody to remember that, just like Malcolm said, most of us are very successful professionals, number one, having that experience in life is helpful. And at the end of the day, nobody's saying, anybody can just walk in from the street and become the chair of the board. And again, these are elected positions. So if you don't think someone has the experience or the know-how, then don't vote for them. Thank you.
Chun, do you want to say something more, or that was it?
No, just wanted to piggyback what Bernadette was saying, that yes, it's I know that everybody here is qualified, like especially like for personal experience, but then in terms of coming into like community, like I feel like I'm still learning a lot. As she said, everybody's learning, and I think that the more you being in the board, you know more how to handle things. So I think that it's something that's very different than your personal life. So I think that 2 year is what I think it should be. But again, Miguel said it right. We can just vote for it. If you don't like that person, you don't think that person qualified, you don't have to say yes. So I'm just saying that like 2 year is what I think should be. But yes.
Okay, and at this point, I don't need to bother with this survey results, right? We don't care about that at this point, right? Okay, all right. All right, so the motion is to amend the bylaws by Sandy, is motion by Sandy, second by Cindy, to amend the bylaws to allow members with at least 9 years of membership.
9 months.
I blame Malcolm for that, all right? Yeah,
It is 10
it's
o'clock.
another, won't get home till after midnight, the way it's going, again. Yeah, I know. Yeah, me first. All right, 9 months of membership to run for an officer position on the community board. That's the 5 officer positions, any of the officer positions, all right? Is that clear enough?
Right, and Jeremy, the only thing is you said that I second my motion. It wasn't me who said, it was someone else.
Well, what did she say?
I made the motion. You said that I also seconded it. I can't do
No,
that.
Cynthia seconded it.
Oh, Cynthia? Okay.
Don't worry, Harris got it right in the minutes. Oral had a question. Term limits take effect 2027, right? That's your question? Right? Term limits come into effect 2027. Or the first round. The first round, the second round is 2028, whatever, because, yeah. It depends on, it only applies to people who've been on the board since 2019 or 2018. One of the two. That's why it's 8 years from 20, subtract, 8 years from 2027. All right, sorry. All right, clear? Bernadette Verara. How do you vote? No. Veronica Castro. Hazel Mura. Is Hazel still in? Hey,
Yeah, I'm still here. I vote no. Did you hear me?
Yes.
all right, we can come back to you. We'll come back. All right.
No,
Hello?
No.
No, I got Hazel. Let me move. Let me call. I call your name. I will say okay or whatever. So I know you got it. Chun Chun.
No.
Chun.
No.
Christine.
Yes.
Miguel. You said yes, right? Okay. Malcolm.
Yes.
Ken Gelnick. Kenneth Gelnick, is he still in? Deborah Kowalik. Roger McCrossan.
Roger McCrossan, yes.
Serena Muniz. Phyllis Nastasio. Naomi Pemberton.
Yes.
Shred, oh, I think he left. Shred left, I believe. Keith Ramsey, are you still in? If you said something, Keith, I didn't hear you. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll do the tally. I mean, this is obviously more controversial than the other thing, whoever voted no on. I don't know if Keith has his hand raised. I think he's there. He keeps muting, unmuting. So, yeah, so Keith, I can't hear you. You want to type in the chat? Debbie, you can look at the chat. Richard Reynoso. Cynthia?
Yes.
Ellie Rodriguez still here?
No.
Joe, oh, no. Harry still around? Lisa Soto? Sandra Unger?
Yes.
Jeremy, I'm sorry about that. I said yes.
Okay. Where is he? Keith Ramsey. Okay, there. Sorry. Dwayne Williams.
I vote yes.
And Jeanette Wilson. And last but not least, Oral Selkridge. Yeah, I mean, if you want to wait till the end, you can always do that if you're not comfortable voting first. So it seems to, I think we have a quorum. It seems to have passed. I mean, again, I believe it's a simple majority. I think that's what the bylaw said, right? So.
Back to the motion to nominate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just want to make sure we're honest.
Okay, so, oh, yeah, who made the nomination?
Sydney.
Cindy. Second by Rich Reynoso, right? Yeah, okay. Malcolm, do you accept? So this is a nomination for Sergeant at Arms. Malcolm accepted the nomination. So there are two people up for election for Sergeant at Arms. Yes.
Anybody else who wishes to run for Sergeant of Arms? Is there anybody online that wishes to run for Sergeant of Arms? No. So we'll close nominations now for Sergeant of Arms. Anybody that does wish could also then be nominated in next month's full board meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going on to the leadership meeting, leadership committee. Since we do not have the minutes to the leadership committee, is there anything else that we need to speak about that, or we should go on to the next? Okay. Okay, the tally of the votes was 16-4 and 5 noes. Okay. Right?
Yeah, for the amendment.
Yeah, for the amendment. Okay. Okay, we're going on to, the next committee is Education, Culture, and Youth Services. Tiz?
Okay, the Yankee Leadership Award has been submitted. As I said, we are going to try to get the diversity training at the Education, Youth, and Culture Committee. We are joining with Serena's group to celebrate Juneteenth. Teresa Roberts will be our guest on next Wednesday. She is the president of CEC 11, May 3rd, and it will be on WebEx. That's it.
Okay, next, thank you. Next, we're the Ethics and Disciplinary.
Yes, hi, Jeremy, I can share my screen?
Yeah, shoot. Can you try it?
Okay, 1 second.
And we have a projector so we can see what you do.
Okay. Everybody see my screen and all my wonderful emails?
It's
Everybody see my
loading.
screen?
It's loading.
Okay.
I don't know if your internet connection is good or if ours should be good though.
Just let me know.
So versus sharing your screen, can you share the particular document you have open? If you stop sharing or try to, and then just the specific, because you can select the specific document. Try that.
Okay. Do you guys see it now?
You have up a thing that says, what's a moral compass?
Yes. Thank you, Sandra.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
So hi, I'm Naomi Pemberton. I am the chair of the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. And I wanted to go over the process because I'm getting a lot of questions. So I just want to go over the process really quickly. And I'm going to go over the results of our Monday meeting. So first, I want to say thank you, Robert Press, for the compliment for Monday's meeting. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. So here we go. So what is a complaint? So I listed here the 6 areas of complaints that we should be receiving. Okay, ethical times misuse of confidential information, conflict of interest, misuse of city resources, ethical conduct, which is anything against our conduct of code or code of conduct that we approved, proper procedure violation of bylaws, and violation of in-house rules. Okay, if you have any questions about anything I'm saying tonight, please feel free to email me if you have any questions. If you're like, I'm not understanding, just let me know. Okay, so first I have 3 lanes here. You filed the complaint, you have a hearing, and the results. So basically, you file the complaint, you're supposed to email it to bx11ethics@cb.nyc.gov. Then we log the case and we put it into our spreadsheet and we track the case. Once the complaint is logged, it is sent to the ethics committee. We review it to see if it's actually a violation or of code of ethics. Okay. We will make that decision because we have to base it on those 6 items that I was talking to you about. If it violates the bylaws, if it violates our code of ethics, we have to look at those documents and see if what you have presented violates those. Okay. If it doesn't, we dismiss it. We have the right. We dismiss it. We don't need to hear it. Okay. If it does meet the criteria, we will provide you a hearing date. You will receive that via email. Any complaints against employees, CB11 employees, that's Jeremy, Harriet, and Chris, will not go through this committee. It will be forwarded directly to leadership, and they will deal with the issue with the staff. Okay? If you get a hearing date, now you have a hearing. If you're the complainant, you have 5 minutes to speak. And you can have up to 2 witnesses. And I'm sorry, this past Monday, it was a little crazy. It was just, that was new, but I added it to the workflow. So you get 2 witnesses and they can speak at 1.5 minutes, each witness. The respondent will have 5 minutes to speak as well on their case and be able to have 2 witnesses who can speak on their behalf for 1.5 minutes each. The committee then can break into a 5-minute question and answer where they can ask both the respondent and the complainant any questions that they have about what they've heard. Then we'll be doing an e-vote, okay, which the committee has 48 hours to respond. And then the results of the committee will be read at the full board meeting. The information will be emailed to the results, and the recommended resolutions will be emailed to the leadership committee to discuss at the next leadership committee and then the leadership committee can vote or make the recommendations or whatever, how we want it, the leadership committee would like to go forward and advise on the next steps. And then we can vote on it on full board if necessary. Okay? Okay.
Okay, unless there's questions or anything else, Naomi, is that your report?
That's my report. Wait, I'm not finished. Sorry. So I would like to also welcome Jeanette Wilson. She's going to be our new committee member. Bernadette, am I speaking out of term? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, she's going to be our new committee member. So thank you very much, Jeanette. And then the results of the Monday meeting for cases. Hello? Okay. For cases 102, Diana Finch versus Aldamato and Bernadette Vieira, it was a split vote. So there's no response on that. On case 105, Bernadette Vieira versus Christine Culpepper, it was a nay. It's 66.7% said no to the complaint and 33 said yes. The recommended solution for case 102, 75% agreed that the board needs to write an apology. Recommended solution number 1 to leadership board case 105 for apology to Bernadette. It was a 50-50 split. Well, 50% said no, 25% said yes, and 25% said both parties need to revisit the code of ethics documentation. Recommended solution for solution number 2, leadership board case suspension for 2 months. 75% said no, and 25% said both parties need to revisit the conduct ethics document. Okay. And so here ends my report. If there's any questions, you feel free to ask. I have no issue with answering any questions.
So because I don't know, yeah, I think a lot of us are confused and tired.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry. So,
repeat that
for
again.
board act on tonight. Do you have any recommendation? Does your committee have any recommendations for the board to act upon tonight? First, on what you said, I kind of heard it. Also the vote tally that you're referencing 60% or whatever, that will be appearing in your minutes, I assume, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So is there any actions?
This will be shared with the leadership committee with the resolution, with the summary and the resolution. What we are recommending based on the vote is that for Diane Finch's case, that we do draft an apology letter to the groups at that September meeting. And for the case between Bernadette Vieira and Christine Culpepper, we're asking that both revisit the code of conduct based on the evidence.
Okay, I think that's clear enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, I know how it is with names, but my name is, the last name is Ferrara. So I just
Fiara,
want to say
sorry.
that, and not Fiera.
Sorry.
There's also Ferriera, et cetera. So there's a
Ferrara.
clarification. So it is Ferrara.
Okay, thank you. No
Thank-
problem. Thank you.
All right. I know you'll understand.
Absolutely.
I,
So Diana, there was a survey sent around to the committee members so that we could choose what we wanted to, we thought would be the best resolution. So the resolution to your case is that we recommend that the board send a letter of apology to the groups and to the attendees that are signed the CB11 attendance sheet. So it's going to be a general apology to all of them, and that's our recommendation to the board. Okay? Well, that means that the committee members, 50% voted nay to the complaint and 50% voted in favor of the complaint. So that's just what that means.
Well, so then there's no resolution. Motion fails, or the idea.
Well,
No.
that's just, there was two parts to the way the survey was sent out. One was in favor of, and then the second part was a separate survey on what resolution we think should be done. So the resolution part of it was in favor of sending a letter of apology.
So long story short, the recommendation from the committee is that the board
Send a letter of apology.
Send a letter of
To the-
apology out.
Yeah, to everyone who attended the meeting. Just one blanket apology, one email to all the people who attended. Right.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct, Veronica. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Since loaded bottom of the sixth, it gets Adelise Garcia, who, as you mentioned.
Right.
Sandy, can you mute your?
Yes, I hear you.
Any questions? Anything that wasn't clear?
So.
Hello?
Hello?
So, all right, so there's a recognition before the board that we should vote on, right? Am I wrong?
Right.
Okay, so,
But my question is it goes to the leadership committee to vote on that? Only my confusion.
I think it just goes to the board. I mean, this is how we handled in the past when there was a complaint against a former board member to do diversity training. It went to the, I mean, I don't think there's anything stopping it.
Okay.
I mean,
And just for the record, Diana, everyone on the committee viewed the video. We all viewed it.
Correct.
Yes, we viewed everyone, because we can't make a decision unless we have all the information. We viewed the video.
I did
Okay,
it three,
so there's
I
no
viewed it
question
three
of that.
times. 3 times, Diana.
so,
We can still view it. Don't worry.
I mean, all right, well, it sounds like a favorable decision on the complainant's, or in favor of the complainant's complaint. So, all right, can we vote on this then? I mean, is it, right? I mean,
I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused because I just wrote out a process, including the leadership committee. So I need to understand why we're not going to leadership this time.
yeah, no, sorry. I remember, I'm also very tired. Okay.
Okay, no
All right, so
problem.
then it will go to leadership. That is the way. Okay.
We'll go to leadership in May. Yeah. And then hopefully be voted on in June.
Yeah, I didn't, but I've already got a text message from home. All right, so.
No problem.
Leadership, education, Phyllis.
Social services is next.
Okay, yeah, so, wait, Phyllis left. Sandy, Unger, Health and Social Services.
Yes, Jeanette wrote the minutes. Jeremy, I forwarded them to you. We just had some people come in from Disrupt. and they are cancer survivors. They offer help. They also will help anybody who needs help in any situation, either finding doctors, treatment, moral support, religious support, whatever. And if you need to know about trials that are being done, they will also give you information on that. It was really a very, very good meeting, and you could see it on the tape. So
Okay,
that's
great.
it.
Leadership agenda will be published tomorrow. I'm going to be off tomorrow. I'm going to do it tonight, send it to Chris. So please don't bother me unless you have to tomorrow. So that will be 3 days in advance, the location, at least 3 days in advance. She didn't talk yet, right? Tiz. She's also planning to put it on the agenda when we should set the deadline for the next Yankee Award applicants. They were submitted. The recommendations from a while ago to the New York Yankees. We're just waiting to hear back. And CC11 is supposed to be the guest for that. Housing, Hazel?
Because of Holy Thursday, we did not have a meeting.
Okay, Parks? Lisa, or not Lisa, Debbie, yeah, Debbie's the co-chair, so she's, you go.
Apparently my microphone went to sleep before I did. I know Jeremy was trying to get the presentation link on, it should be it should be clickable on the agenda that's on the CB11 website for the presentation of the Pelham Parkway Plaza seating area that was presented to the board.
Thank you.
Parks is going to want some type of recommendation from us. I don't know what the next step forward is for this. Are we having, what's our plans going forward? Because the committee didn't make a decision, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know if April's not in. I'm gonna at least try and call Roger. I don't know if Roger's still there.
Yeah, I'm still here. No guest speaker, but if we don't still like to talk about old business such as the alternate side of street parking, then new business, see how the later pickup is going for everybody.
Are we talking about the possible meeting next week? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Referring to?
Yep.
Okay, so April told me to cancel it. She said she reached out to you. Maybe you can try to touch base with her tomorrow so we can square it away tomorrow, because if you are having a meeting, we need to publish the agenda tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, and I gotta, as soon as I go, this is why I'm not leaving till midnight. I gotta send Chris the calendar too when I get to the office. So, yeah, I don't know what
Yeah, I'll
we're gonna
check
do
my
here.
email, but no, she hasn't reached out to me.
Yeah, she said she tried calling you, but yeah, you have her number though, right? So you could reach out to her?
Yep.
Okay. Richard Reynoso? Rich want to know if this is a meeting that's usually canceled. This is one of the meetings that's usually canceled, yeah. Yeah, he said it's very unfortunate, yes. No, it's over. So, all right, sanitation, transportation, Rabbi's left. He has no co-chair. I did send out an email regarding, do you have any unanswered questions regarding the MTA or DOT? I know Debbie responded and Brenna has to respond. Social media is not here. Well, Debbie, you're the co-chair. I don't know if there's anything to report. If not, we can move on to electeds. We do still have some electeds here.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, Rabbi, you're on the phone?
I'm here now. I'm in the car now.
All right.
So I just would like to add to your comments that anybody from the public that has any questions about DOT or MTA happenings in Community Board 11 should send in their question to the community board email address. We are going to do a compilation of all those questions and bring an MTA and DOT person to our June meeting. May is going to be canceled at this time because at this time we still have a lot of unanswered questions, and hopefully we will put all these questions together and we will come to a finishing point where we have answers. Secondly, this is an editorial. I think everybody should support that library event in June, and I feel bad that it took so long to approve, but I think it's a good thing for the neighborhood and it's a good thing for us to attend because we really took a long time to approve this, while I had thought a long time ago it was a no-brainer. And besides that, if anybody has any questions, I am here and ready to listen.
Okay, great. I know Debbie Kowalik had a question. She's just putting new batteries in the microphone because we're still here. The batteries are dying. All right, number 3, go.
Well, not necessarily a question, but a statement. As being on the transportation committee, I do wish to have a transportation meeting, even if it's not one that's in quorum. This way, the public can have their time to speak to the board. It does not always have to necessarily be having, DOT or whoever come into the meeting. I do wish to hear the general public on any transportation issues.
Okay, Ms. Kowalik, the general public will be heard when they send in the questions. I did not have an agenda to make for this week, and therefore I was not going to have a meeting just with the gallery session, so on and so forth. So in regard to your concerns, the public will be heard, and I would like everybody from the public to get in all their questions by May 15th so we can respond to the appropriate parties at the MTA, at the DOT. And that is my response to you. And thank you for your input.
So what I think he essentially said is he doesn't want to have a meeting. So I don't know if the chair overrules. So I know Debbie wants a meeting. The third member, David Levitt, we've already spoken about. So
he did not.
Yeah,
he was emailed. Jeremy, he was emailed. He did not respond. So it's me against Debbie, and the latest I heard, I'm the chair. So therefore, I think I would rule in this one. And if you disagree, Mr. Jeremy, please tell me so.
Rabbi, can I make a suggestion?
You can make all the suggestions you want. It's freedom of speech.
Okay. So I'll put in my suggestion here. There's so many issues that are going on with DOT, with MTA, with Metro North issues that if the committee members think that there should be some discussion, you're still the chair and you can control that discussion and the time, and also give instruction to the gallery to basically not have it go to the wee hours of the morning. But I think if you could think and make a, consider that, I think it would be great for the board and for the people who have many questions and ongoing issues, to have a meeting nonetheless, but state it, at the beginning of your meeting. So if you would consider that, I would appreciate it.
I could definitely reconsider, but I'm just telling you, my feeling is we've spoken about the Metro North Station, we have spoken about the bike lanes, we have spoken about Brunsdale, we've spoken about the meters ad nauseum for the last 2 or 3 meetings, and we've not got really any great answers. So my recommendation was, instead of bringing 7 MTA people or 3 MTA people, bring 1 MTA person that's going to answer all the questions. Bring Chris Cobb from DOT, that he's going to answer all the questions. If people just want to have a meeting to repeat the exact same thing, okay, I'll reconsider and I'll have the meeting. And I can tell you right now, it'll be 1 hour and nothing more than 1 hour, especially if everything is going to be reiterated over and over again.
So he's going to have a meeting.
So he's
Okay,
having a
we
meeting
can
or he's
do it.
not?
Reinstate it, Jeremy, for Monday. Reinstate it for Monday, and I want you to put in bold print, that one, we would like to have your questions ahead of that meeting. Number two, please do not be repetitious in any of the items that we know about already. And last but not least, this meeting will end promptly. If we're starting at 7 o'clock, it will end at 8. If we're starting at 7:30, it will end at 8:30. It's nothing against anybody, and I'm not being a dictator here, but I know, and I think everybody on my committee, all two of us, know what all the issues are. I never have a quorum. Because I only have 2 other people besides me. But if the public feels they want to hear their voice heard again, I have no problem with that whatsoever. And I will be there when you tell me 7 o'clock or 7:30 on Monday.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be in person or fully remote. We can meet fully remotely. I will see what I can do tonight. At the very least, I will set up the make sure the WebEx links are correct, and I'll email, at the very least, I will email Chris and Harry the agendas, and you guys are going to have to deal with it tomorrow.
And the easiest agenda, I don't know if you're going to do it or Chris is going to do it. You could do A, DOT issues, B, MTA issues, and C, old business, new business, and gallery, and that's it. Plain and simple. And if anybody has anything new that has to do with the DOT and MTA, anything new, I would kindly appreciate that. That would be good. If it's not besides the regular stale bread that we've spoken about.
All right, Rabbi, thank you so much. Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. You know, I know everybody's time is precious, so I'm just trying to work with everybody. That's all.
Okay. Hold on, Christine had her hand raised.
Thank you, Rabbi, for agreeing to have a meeting because many people have contacted me about the lack of the meetings and they have matters that they want to discuss with you. Also, BPECA has a proposal they want to make. I don't know if they need to contact you ahead of time so that it could be quickly, so they need to find, for the meeting closing. And that's it. So thank you.
Not a problem. I don't know. I would like to know who many of the people are because I think I've only missed one meeting this whole year. But so just tell people to chill a little bit. And I think you can look that up in the record. I think I missed one this month. One this whole year. But that's fine. We'll do Monday, and whoever has anything to say, we'll do it. No problem. My pleasure.
My suggestion is if there's a problem with the quorum for the Transportation Committee, we may need to add more members to the Transportation Committee. So that way, I mean, my understanding is that it's usually only Debbie and Rabbi. So if there's a split vote, there's nothing they can do. So maybe add another person to the committee. So that way that's not an issue.
We have another person on the committee.
Another 2 people,
but
yeah.
No, one, he's not showed up. So that's happened the last few months. So if Mr. District Manager or Chairwoman wants to add another person, no problem.
Yeah, I just would like to add one of the issues that I wanted to do is actually put it out there. Speak to a few of the board members and put it out there that we do need more people on transportation. And these are board members that are able to do more than 1 or 2 committees. There's parks and anyone else who is interested in land use and housing. So since we do have most of the people here, anyone on the board that is interested in populating any of these other committees, please send me an email. You can call me, you can text me, you can send an email, just let me know. And then from there, I will just proceed to the chair and take it from there. Yes.
Yes, I'm interested. I'm only on one committee at the present time, so I'd be interested in joining land use and transportation.
Transportation?
Correct.
Very good. So then I will make sure that there is a courtesy out to the chairs, and if there's no issue,
Thank you. Bernadette?
Get back to you.
Bernadette, Bernadette, I know Harry had expressed concern he wanted to, if you can reach out to him, I know he had wanted to join transportation.
Yeah. Land use and transportation.
Sorry about that. Elected officials, yeah.
I think so. I already said stuff for you.
So how do you get this?
It's up to you.
No, she spoke on it already, earlier.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop yawning. Not really. All right, so we'll go to elected officials, Borough President's office. I don't even know who's in online anymore. I know we have Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez's office still here, Mayor's office. Let's see. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Mayor's
All right,
office is
we'll
still
go-
here.
Yeah, so we'll go in order. Borough President's office first. Council members, anybody from Velasquez's office? Please, or Riley? So you want to? Yeah, so Kathleen, you want to speak? So you now's your time. I know it took forever, but yeah.
You're still here.
No one in my house is gonna believe that this took this long, so.
It's on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I know what you're dealing with though.
So hi, I'm Kathleen. I'm Councilmember Felice's Director of Community Affairs. On May 6th at 1122 East 180th Street, I believe that's Wings Academy Gymnasium, we're having a Mother's Day senior brunch, and there's gonna be food, a DJ, like manicures and flowers and stuff, and it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I was in such a rush to get here, I neglected to actually bring the flyer with me, but we have copies, and our office is at 573 East Fordham Road. Also, April 21st to May 9th, Citywide Council on High School Elections and Citywide Education Council. And 2 legislative items, Intro 987 prohibiting the operation of a car with fraudulent paper license plates, and Intro 988 prohibiting the sale and distribution of fraudulent paper license plates.
One question.
Not a question, but please email us the flyers and we can post it to our social.
LL.
Tell us.
Send it. Well, yeah, ideally send it to all of us. Maybe up. All right. So please, Mayor's office, Alina, you're still in?
Yes, I'm here.
So you go ahead. You got 2 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I don't even need 2 minutes. It's definitely been a long night. As I'm Alina Dow, the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that the summer youth program, the applications were open. Obviously that was closed, but we're still looking for businesses. So if you know any business owners that would be interested in actually employing some of the students for summer youth, that application for them, it closes in May 26th. So Jeremy, if anybody's interested, please, I'll send you the link. I also want to make you aware that the mayor is always asking people to stay in touch with him directly and to sign up for his newsletter and for his podcast, and that we are looking to host. He's asking that we host Building Bread, Breaking Bonds, where there are a series of dinners around New York City. We're asking people to host them with yourself and like 10 other people of different groups that you wouldn't necessarily have, communications with, and we think that's a way that you would be building bonds. If someone's interested in hosting one, please let me know because I can help to facilitate it and help to actually bring different groups of people together as well. The mayor has also, I'm not sure if you were aware, but the mayor's announced that he's looking into filing a lawsuit against Kia and Hyundai because they failed to protect the residents of the city of people breaking into their cars because of the the thing that was swerving on TikTok. As always, I make myself available. My number is 914-446-8393, and I can be reached by phone or by email. And I wish you all the best and have a good night.
Okay, thank you. So Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez's office?
Hello, can you hear me? Cool. My name is Renee Castellanos. I just started with the Congresswoman's office about 2 months ago, so this is my first CB11 meeting. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I definitely did. Yeah, he was right there. It was kind of cool. So my first announcement, the Hunts Point office at the Banknote Building is now officially opened. This is going to be our flagship office in the Bronx. We still have the one in Co-op City, but that one's going to be open for visitors Monday through Tuesday. So now if you want to go Monday through Thursday, go to the Banknote Building. That's 1231 Lafayette Avenue, Suite 11610. Bronx, New York. It's a little bit confusing because although it says L610, it's on the 4th floor. Just ask them for the Congresswoman's office. They'll send you there. Second announcement, this has been an issue for quite some time, the initiative to cap the Cross Bronx Expressway. Just to make sure, if you want to give your input, I know they've stopped doing the sort of public outreach for it. If you want to give the project team your input, please email crossbronx@planning.nyc to share your opinion. Just contact the office and we can forward it to them as well. Earlier this month, our office, in collaboration with Assembly members Mamdani and Burgos, we held a virtual town hall where we discussed the state budget. You can access it on facebook.com/repaoc or search it up on YouTube. Again, last announcement, please check your passports, update them, reach out to us if you have any questions. It's going to be really backlogged for the summer. So thank you so much.
Hold on.
Thank you. So thank you for joining us today. We're super excited to have you. And since we have you here today, and I don't know, I think you've been with us all night, right? So thank you for that. But I wanted to just, I did not contact the Congresswoman with regards to our Juneteenth, our first annual Juneteenth event. It's going to be June 18th. June 18th on June 18th on a Sunday. It's also Father's Day, so it's going to be, you'll get all the information, but I just wanted to, since I got you here, grab you and let you know that you'll be hearing from me, and I'll send you all the detailed information, and hopefully she'll be able to support us. So thank you.
My school is coming down to Washington, May 30th, and they've contacted the Congresswoman's office to see if she can give them a tour of the Capitol. They haven't gotten a response yet, so maybe you can look into it and see. It's St. Francis Xavier, right here on Mars Park.
Sorry. Yeah, so after the meeting, I'll give you my email. We talk about it, and I can forward your request.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, Bowman doesn't represent our district anymore. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Anybody else online from the elected officials' offices? I don't know if there is. I think that's it, right? Is anybody else? She already spoke. So unless there's anybody else from the electeds, old business, any old business? Christine?
Is it on? Okay, great. So, just because I didn't have a chance to say what I wanted to say before about what happened in the Housing Committee with Mr. Press. And I know now I'm very clear that Ms. Ferrara and Hazel don't have to, speak to anybody. But I think just, to be transparent and to avoid certain, situations like the one with Mr. Press, that, in all committees, when these decisions are being made, that at least a little heads up to the rest of the committees be, something that you take into consideration.
Okay, any other old business? Any new business?
Yeah, I wrote a whole thing. I want to leave, so I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Wait,
But
what?
just in regards, like I really do think the DEI committee needs to be revived. Just in the sense of that, just trying to understand, the different demographics within our committee, different people, not committee, community, and different issues that we all face, and how can we not only understand historic effects to those things, but also understand what can we do to find solutions in the future to unite our community to fight these things together. So I do want to make the motion to revive the diversity, equity, and inclusion committee for CB11.
Okay, yeah, it was originally called Equity Committee, but yeah, however you want to resurrect the Equity Committee, however we call it.
Correct.
Yeah, if you want to propose that name. So you make a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, one person.
For the record.
Either Serena or Miguel. Serena had her hand up last, Serena. All right, so,
As long as we have it, I don't.
yeah, I know. Ultimately, that's how it should be, right? All right, do we need do we need a roll call, or can we just say? Okay, who's opposed, who's abstaining, if anybody? So there's a motion to resurrect the Equity Committee, however it's named.
Diversity, equity, inclusion. Yeah.
Diversity, equity, inclusion. Burnett's abstaining. Anybody else or against? If not, motion
Jeremy,
online.
well, just one. I'm against that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Keith Ramsey's against. Burnett's abstaining. Anybody else? Okay. All right. So the motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion. What time? No. For the record, what time?
I understand why.
10:59.
Good night, everyone.
Oh. Yeah.